A good day and welcome to Africa at Play on Channel Africa. We are live on DSTV Audio Bouquet Channel 802 or OpenView 628 if you are in South Africa. If not, you can connect with us online on channelafrica.co.za. Also available on SABC+. My name is Neto Neto Chemane. Hosiati konyangazi mumka jwapandle kunjani moyani. Vugu tendele. And from the rest of the Africa at Play team, thank you for listening. Coming up on the show, in celebration of the Nelson Mandela Day, which was yesterday, the 18th of July, we will be talking to Onke Sitjwayi, a gentleman who is known as the New Age Madiba, who works for 27 days in a row, an effort of raising funds for an eco-lab in his disadvantaged village.
Hi, my name is Onke, the New Age Madiba, and the 27 Days Walker. From the 1st of September until the 27th of September, I'll be walking from Cape Town to Eastern Cape to raise funds to build an eco-lab for my village, a place where students can have access to internet and have access to computers and be able to apply online to varsities around South Africa.
We will also get to hear from Banyana Banyana head coach Dr. Desiree Ellis ahead of their highly anticipated Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2024 quarter-final clash against Teranga Lionesses Senegal tonight at 2100 Central African Time.
So we have to make sure that we nullify everything, that we make sure that we control everything, because as I said, it's the end where one girl can decide the game, and if you are not on your game, you could be going home. That's how big this game is now. So we have to make sure, as much as we're analyzing Senegal, they will be analyzing us. You don't just play against a team nowadays that knows nothing about you. And yes, we played them last year, but we don't take that into account. It's a completely new game, it's a completely new competition, it's a completely new part of the competition where you either win and go through or you lose.
Also coming up is that the Copper Queens of Zambia have been thrashed out of the WAFCON Morocco 2024 by 5-0 in the quarterfinals last night by 9-time WAFCON champions Nigeria.
Not our day, but I think we need to get back to our drawing board and work on things that we know that we didn't apply in the game, but so far so good. I think playing quarterfinals against Nigeria, it was a great game, and yeah, I think we have a good team, and this is not the end of the road, but we still have a lot of youngsters that are coming up. We're still growing, so we need to get back together also and work on a few things. I would like to say thank to their support, and they should keep on supporting us, and we keep on doing improving each and every day. Yeah, I think we'll do better in our qualifiers, and we need to qualify also because it's good to qualify to the bigger tournaments and get more experience.
There's action galore in the world of sport. In rugby, the 4-time World Rugby Champions, the Springboks, have started their international rugby season with impressive victories against the Azzurri Italy. This afternoon, the Boks collides with Georgia at the Mbombela Stadium in South Africa's Mpumalanga province at 17:10 Central African Time. In cricket, South Africa under-19 is in action against Bangladesh in the second youth ODI. The visitors have registered 265 for 5. And the host nation is soon to bed. Still in football, in the ongoing Women's Africa Cup of Nations, there are two outstanding quarter-final matches today. Algeria versus Ghana at 1800 Central African Time. And that match will be live on SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4 and SABC+. South Africa, the reigning champions, will line up against the Teranga Lionesses of Senegal tonight at 2100 Central African Time, live on SABC3. And in football, the Zimbabwean Premier Soccer League is in full action, as this league is not operating as per other leagues across the world, where the league kicks off in August and concludes in May of the following year. In Zimbabwe, they run from January until the season ends. Green Fuel will take on Bikita Minerals at 1500 Central African Time. Triangle United will be up against Ngezi, also at 1500, and Chicken Inn will take on Kariba, and that match is also slated for 1500. Simba Bora, the reigning champion champions will be up against Dynamos also today at 1500, and Manica Diamonds are up against Herentials at 1500 Central African Time. MWOS versus FC Platinum at 1500, and Kwekwe United will line up against Yada also at 1500. Then tomorrow there's Scotland up against Highlanders at 1500 Central African Time. This is Africa at Play as Deleli Siashaya. We take a short break. When we come back, all things Africa at Play continues.
Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802. The Midnight Snack, 12 to 3 a.m.
Young couples or young people that are getting married, we often hear of divorces, that they're getting divorced, and it's quite worrying because when we attend these weddings, we want to see these people flourish and celebrate 30-year anniversaries. What do you think is the main challenge that is facing newlyweds?
We say that tell me how you were raised and I'll tell you how you love. So when we see people getting married, that's not where the relationship actually starts. The relationship starts with how you were raised, what you were familiar with, because we are attracted to what we are familiar with. If you don't have a background where love was prominent, where love was authentic, it's going to be very difficult for you to manufacture that in later life. So our upbringing has something to do with it.
The Midnight Snack, every Monday, 12 to 3 a.m. with Chanduko Ligege. Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
The situation in northern Mozambique's Cabo Delgado province continues to deteriorate, with fresh reports revealing a sharp rise in child abductions and mass displacements. What needs to be done to address the root causes of the conflict in your view? And especially just considering that resources are at the center of all of this.
This has now been going on since the end of 2017 in terms of the armed conflict, but the underlying factors have been in play really for generations now in the Mozambican setting, and the socio-economic drivers which have provided space for exploitation by external forces and by radicalized internal elements are really keeping a pilot light under this conflict. And the Mozambican government has struggled both in terms of its hard security response, but also in terms of its soft security and its development response to address the key drivers in play. And so we are likely to see a continuation of this kind of conflict.
Pierce Piju.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time. From football fields to finish lines,
Eliud Kipchoge storms into the history books.
Neto Chemane brings you sports on Africa at Play.
14:08 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a warm welcome to Africa at Play. We are together until 5 p.m. Central African Time. Do get in touch with us on our different social media platforms. On Instagram and X is at Channel Africa 1, and on Facebook the name of our station, Channel Africa. An exciting topic of the day, looking at football in Africa. Pre-season gives the managers an opportunity to instill the tactical blueprint if they want their team to use during the forthcoming season. Few clubs in Africa go on a pre-season preparation, while a huge number of clubs fail to do so. And the question we are asking is, what are the advantages or disadvantages of failing to engage in pre-season games? Do engage with us via our WhatsApp number, which is +27 763 406 9126. Yesterday, the 18th of July, was a big day in the calendar, especially in South Africa, the African continent, and various parts of the world, where we got to witness the Nelson Mandela Day Walk and Run, where thousands and thousands of South Africans and other enthusiasts got to be part of in this exciting event. We now welcome to Africa at Play Tsepang Motsekua, from the Media and Marketing Officer from the Nelson Mandela Foundation, to tell us about what went down this morning, because the event was slated for this morning, although Matiba's birthday is on the 18th of July. Tsepang, good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Thank you so much, Neto.
Afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. The annual Nelson Mandela Day Walk and Run, it is a great initiative indeed, in remembrance of the world iconic Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. What went down this morning?
Fantastic morning. Even though the weather changed on us, people came out. I think we had sold about 8,000 tickets. World Water Stadium in Ilovo, Johannesburg. We had participants who were doing the 5-kilometer walk. Some of them sprinted through that 5-kilometer, and then there was a 10-kilometer and a 21. And we had Minister Gayton McKenzie joining us. He has become such a part of the Mandela Day walk and run. Last year, he committed to do 5. This year, he did 10. So we had a fantastic morning.
Fantastic morning indeed. If you have just joined us on this exciting afternoon of Africa at Play, we are talking to Tshepa Motsekua, the Media and Marketing Officer from the Nelson Mandela Foundation, reflecting to an exciting initiative for the Nelson Mandela Walk and Run that takes place every July. Tshepa, any other initiatives that are exciting that celebrates Madiba's legacy?
So this year, this year, so we've got a new leadership at the Nelson Mandela Foundation. I'm sure you know that our new chair of the board is Dr. Naledi Pandor. Dr. Naledi Pandor delivered the keynote address at the United Nations yesterday. She was the one who was doing the UN Nelson Mandela International Day event, and she had traveled abroad with our CEO, Dr. Mbongiseni Buthelezi. We have collaborated with the UN this year and did a couple of other things. For example, we showcased our exhibition in New York the night before the Mandela Day, which is called Our Shared Humanity in Action. So the exhibition basically highlights the role the UN Special Committee Against Apartheid played in dismantling apartheid in South Africa. So it was important for us to take that exhibition there because we think it's a historical reminder, but also it's a call to strengthen global solidarity against injustices. We know of areas such as gender apartheid in Afghanistan and then the situation in Palestine. So that's what we did there, but we also did some other things. We've got an online module, or should I say short course, that we have launched with the United Nations System Staff College. It's a free educational online leadership module, basically looking at attributes of Nelson Mandela, his leadership attributes, and teaching those qualities as a leadership course. And then also locally with the United Nations Development Program, we are launching what is called the Nelson Mandela Call to Action book. That is, we did it in partnership with Gibbs and Global Impact Network South Africa. It's basically just looking at the SDGs and connecting them to some of Madiba's profound quotes. And it's a call to action for business leaders, professionals, entrepreneurs to basically start looking at their communities and use their influence to build a just and equal society. So that's one of the things that we did was a collaboration with the United Nations. But then on the ground locally, there was a lot that we were doing. I don't know if you want to go into that.
And talking about Madiba's quotes, Tshepa, any quote close to your heart?
Any quote close to my heart? You know what? I think the one that is closest to my heart currently is the one where we last month, it was Youth Month, and Nelson Mandela's quote about the youth, that when the youth is capable when ignited to dismantle injustices and poverty. That is my greatest quote because we need to, he passed on the baton to us, and we also need to keep passing on the baton to the youth, and we need to make them understand Madiba's legacy and why it's relevant and it's still important today.
Did you also participate in any of the activities, be it a walk or a run?
Yesterday I participated in a lot. I mean, we were handing over a 3-classroom block in Mpumalanga. We had a coding tournament for kids who don't have access to technology in Deep Sloot. We even had a concert last night, Baseline Fest featuring Murder and Soweto Gospel Choir. We did a lot yesterday. We cleaned up some schools and some gardens, planting. So we had a full day of activities yesterday. So today, no, I did not run, but I can assure you, walking up and down as part of the organizing committee, I think I probably did 21 kilometers.
If you have just joined us, we are talking to Tshepa Motsekua, who is the Media and Marketing Officer from the Nelson Mandela Foundation, reflecting to Madiba's legacy. Yesterday was Madiba's birthday, July the 18th, and of course we are still in 2025. Tshepa, we will be talking to an exciting gentleman by the name of Onke Sitjwai, who has come up with an initiative of walking for 27 days in a row, and he's doing this with an effort to raise funds for his disadvantaged village back in the Eastern Cape to be able to build an eco lab. What does this mean to the Nelson Mandela Foundation and Madiba's legacy?
It is great to have young people who are also starting initiatives that will bring awareness to certain issues around whether it's human rights, it's peace, it's democracy. I think it's fantastic. We encourage young people to get up, take on the mantle, as I said, and do something. We call it causing good trouble. So we say when you see something that is not right, something that is wrong, don't just sit down and keep quiet. Get up, cause trouble, good trouble. It's actually coached by a civil rights activist in America. So we believe in that. So well done to him, and we would love to know more about it. Maybe after this call, if you could pass on my details, would love to know what he's doing, and we'd love to share it on our website. Our Mandela Day website is dedicated to other people's stories, such stories. It's not about the foundation talking about itself. We believe it's about what people are doing out there in the communities.
That's the voice of Tshepa Motsekua, Media and Marketing Officer from the Nelson Mandela Foundation. Tshepa, thank you so much for talking to us on Africa at Play. Have a good afternoon.
Have a fantastic afternoon. I am going to go take a nap. Ciao.
Thank you so much. 14:17 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play. We are together until 5 p.m. Central African Time. What's happening in the world of sport? Four-time World Rugby champions, the Springboks, have started their international rugby season with two impressive victories against the Azzurri, Italy. This afternoon, the Boks will collide against Georgia at the Mbombela Stadium, South Africa's Mpumalanga province, at 17:10 Central African Time. In the world of cricket, the Cricket South Africa Under-19 is hosting Bangladesh in the second youth ODI. And if you have missed out on the WAFCON quarterfinal action that took place yesterday, Nigeria defeated Zambia by 5-0, while Morocco, the host nation, triumphed 3-1 against Mali. There's also action coming up of the semi-finals this evening, starting with Algeria up against Ghana at 1800 Central African Time. That match will be broadcast live on SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4. And the reigning champions, South Africa, will lock horns with Senegal tonight at 2100 Central African Time. That match is live on SABC Sport and SABC 3. And you can also access it at your fingertips on SABC Plus. 14:18 Central African Time. Let's remind you about our topic of the day, where we're talking about the pre-season of football in Africa. Pre-season gives the managers an opportunity to instill the tactical blueprint they want their team to use during the forthcoming season. Few clubs in Africa go on a pre-season preparation, while a huge number of clubs fail to do so. What are the advantages and disadvantages of failing to engage in pre-season games? Please do drop us your thoughts via WhatsApp on the number +27 63 406 9126. Africa at Play, as Delili Siashaya. It's time for a musical break.
Ahoy, matey!
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram, or On X at Channel Africa 1. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa 1. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need. On the web, Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
Window, right? So you can see the street next to us. There's a street like coming through, a residential street coming this way. Back in varsity, I went to the University of Johannesburg, the Bunting Road campus on our right, and there's the Kingsway campus on our left. A friend of mine and I went to the library. We couldn't find the book we wanted, so we walked to the Kingsway campus, to that library. Got there, found what we needed, and then walked down through this residential area. And as we were about to reach like a few meters just before the SABC here where we are, we got mugged by two guys. And we got mugged in front of a group of men doing construction in one of those residential houses. They just watched it happen and everything happened. The guys took our phones and they ran off, got in a car, shoot. We're obviously devastated. They went on to do the work that they wanted to do. So we're speaking about, I'm telling you the story because in the first hour of the show, we're speaking about community involvement in addressing personal crises. And we're finding out the question, have you ever witnessed someone in distress and said nothing? Or you were too scared or nonchalant to intervene? So that's the conversation we're having in the first hour of today's show.
Wow. I mean, it's an interesting one. And sadly, especially gender-based violence. Yeah. Everybody sees it, everybody hears it, and for some reason, it's a difficult thing for people to intervene. I'm fascinated to hear about that conversation.
Africa is a story, a living, breathing, ever-evolving masterpiece. And for over 5 decades now, one voice has told it like no other. Channel Africa. More than just a broadcaster, Channel Africa is the pulse of the continent, African-led, African-run, and deeply rooted in its heritage. It's the only international station that speaks to Africa in its own voices: English, Kiswahili, Chinyanja, French, and Portuguese. The languages that unite 1 billion people. We have been there through every shift, every milestone, and every triumph. Not just reporting history, but shaping the conversations that define Africa's future. For brands, media planning, and advertisers, Channel Africa is more than just a platform. It's an opportunity. With 25 compelling shows covering current affairs, sports, business, music, and lifestyle, we deliver an engaging Pan-African audience ready to connect, invest, and act. Multi-award winning, internationally recognized, digitally accessible across the globe. When Africa speaks, the world listens, and Channel Africa makes sure of it. For business, for culture, for Africa, partner with Channel Africa because Africa's voice is the future. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1. Africa Update with Lulu Kabu. Getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4. Live and real with Tepuho Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money. Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6. We put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joel Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Mariamo Kumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa.
Hey guys, so it's about 30 minutes before we have to go onto the show and go live, and we're just having our own little briefing session with the team. We've got our producer in the background, Unsako. We've got my amazing co-host, Mateko Mosito.
Also, I'm not amazing.
We've got Unsako that side. And we just, just getting our ducks in a row for the show. Once we go live, there's no turning back. You make mistakes, we make them on air, but we try our best to prepare and ensure that we don't do that when we go on. And when we do, and we laugh about it, guys, we're only human. But this is how it looks like when we're just getting ready for the show. Enjoy. Here we go. Mix. Let's go. Come on. Let the creative juices flow.
The tree, what's at the bottom of it?
The root.
Thank you. If I'm not excited, like I'm just sitting around, I have nothing to do.
Bored.
Thank you. If it's not mist, it's mist. If it's not mist in the morning, you can't see the road. It's like a cloud.
Bright and early in the morning.
Like
sometimes your brain experiences.
It rhymes with dog. Thank you. I don't know this one.
This one, guys. Guys, come on.
What is this? When I'm doing this?
African time. That was Omalay saying Confession, and before that we played you Justin Vibes, Uzozi Sola featuring Diamonds of Guijo and Azul Sirene. If you're a basketball fan, there's action taking place in the World Championship Under-19 women, and for the bracket 13th to 16th places, Argentina Under-19 will line up against Brazil Under-19 women's basketball team, and Hungary Under-19 and Japan Under-19. Hungary went down by 76-78. That match took place earlier today. France Under-19 women also played against Portugal Under-19 and triumphed by 17-14. There's more action coming up. Nigeria at 1600 Central African time will take on South Korea Under-19, and China Under-19 and Israel Under-19. China went down by 41-46. There's also at 1700 Australia Under-19 versus Canada Under-19, and at 2000 it will be USA Under-19 versus Spain Under-19. Philippines also played against New Zealand and went down by 71-78. Australia also played against South Korea and triumphed by 86-73. China and Japan played to a 54-49. We will continue to update you on the latest in the world of sport action that is taking place around the world. Let's now welcome to Africa at Play Matlomola Morake, a very renowned sports journalist and Banyana media officer who is currently in North Africa witnessing the Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2024. There's been action taking place since the 5th of July, and this tournament is slowly heading to the end of it on the 26th of July, which is next week Saturday. But before we get there, there's more quarter-final matches taking place tonight, where South Africa's Banyana Banyana, the reigning champions, will take on the Teranga Lionesses of Senegal. And there's also Algeria up against the Black Queens of Ghana at 1800 Central African Time. Folks, good afternoon and welcome to Africa at Play.
Neto, good afternoon to you, man, and to your listeners. Good to have, or rather, good to be on your show.
Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get on to it. It is a big one. All eyes on the reigning champions, Banyana Banyana of South Africa, up against the Teranga Lionesses of Senegal, a stubborn side that almost gave the Copper Queens a headache in a match before this quarterfinal stage.
Absolutely, a very interesting match that's coming up. We know that the Teranga Lions, they gave DR Congo a 4-0 drubbing, which really showed their class and their prowess in that match. But obviously, we know that they struggled against Morocco and Zambia. But really, that's not much. There's not much to read into that, especially at this stage or level of the competition, because the quarterfinals, we all know it's a do or die. One step, you could go your way home, or the next minute you could be on your way to the semi-final. So it's going to be critically crucial for Banyana Banyana to ensure that they're ready for this game and they don't take Senegal for granted. You'll recall that we played against Senegal last year in June, and 2 matches away, and we defeated them 2-0 in the one and in the other. But that is all in the past. You cannot afford to even think about that, because this stage, the stakes are higher. There's a place in the semi-finals that's up for grabs. So it's going to be important for Banyana Banyana to take this match as very serious as possible.
If you have just joined us, welcome to Africa at Play. We are talking to Matlamala Morake, who is in North Africa, Morocco, experiencing the Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2024. Banyana Banyana are up against the Teranga Lionesses of Senegal at 2100 Central African Time. And that match, you can catch it live on SABC Plus app, as well as SABC 3 and SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4. Folks, you've said it rightly that what happened last year in June between the Teranga Lionesses of Senegal and Banyana Banyana of South Africa is a thing of the past. This is a brand new 90 minutes. How is the spirit in camp heading to 2100?
I must say the players are looking forward to the game. They know what's at stake. They've been in this position before. You'll recall that in 2022, they managed to go past the stage and went on to win the tournament. So they want to relive those moments. They want to replicate what happened back then, but it's going to take a lot of hard work. They facing a team that really has, for lack of a better word, nothing to lose. But obviously they want to make history, because this is the third time that Senegal is in this competition, but only the second time that they're in the quarterfinals. Even in 2022, they bombed out in the quarterfinals, so they want to make a history for themselves to say we went past the quarterfinal stages at the expense of the African champions. So there's a lot of pressure on Banyana Banyana. That is why I'm saying Senegal really has not much to lose, but obviously there's the semi-final spot up for grabs. So Banyana Banyana are really under pressure. They won't say it. They won't admit it. Instead, what they're saying is that it's the kind of pressure that they want to use to propel them of defending their title. It's not been done by anyone before except for Nigeria. So South Africa is also eager to actually look into that and say, let's do a back-to-back winning of this title, as I said, which has not been done before by anyone except Nigeria.
The host nation, the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco, have already booked a place in the last 4 after beating Mali by 3-1. And we've seen the Super Falcons of Nigeria, 9-time WAFCON champions, beating the Copper Queens by a one-way traffic scoreline, 5-0. If Banyana Banyana beats the Teranga Lionesses of Senegal, who are they likely to meet in the last 4?
It's quite interesting what's going to happen in the last 4, because if you think about it, Ghana is playing against Algeria this afternoon. So you have one West African, one North African, and then already booked their places. That's the North Africans, it's the hosts, and then it's Nigeria. So should South Africa win this evening, they'll face Nigeria, the 9-time champions. Nigeria have got a different assignment this time around. They call it Mission X. What does it mean? It means that they're looking for La Decima, their 10th title. That's why they call it Mission X. So they're eager to show that they actually the queens of the continent. South Africa just came and overtook them in 2022, but they want to put that behind them and say we're going to get the 10th title this time around. And should South Africa win, as I said, they'll be facing Nigeria. And on the other hand, Morocco, the hosts, they haven't really been where they should be in terms of play, but they've managed to get the crucial wins, the crucial 3 points, and they managed that last night against a very stubborn Mali, winning 3-1, whereas we saw that Nigeria basically cruised against Zambia. Much was expected from that match. A lot of fireworks were expected, but it appears that someone forgot to bring the matches to the game, so there were really no fireworks. But Nigeria cruising there 5-0 against the Zambians.
And Cloaks, as we wrap up, Banyana considered a worrying goal against the Twiga Stars of Tanzania during the group stage match in their second outing. They were pressing the Twiga Stars all along until that free kick came about. And before you know it, it was in the back of the net. How much of a wake-up call was that, considering that a competitor, so to put it, the arch-rivals of South Africa, the green and white of Nigeria, the Super Falcons, have not considered a goal to date, especially after this heavy 5-0 against Zambia, sending a clear message that they want to make Mission X a reality. And of course, Banyana will also want to put up a fight to say, we are not the Copper Queens, we are Banyana, the reigning champions.
Well, the immediate assignment for Banyana is Senegal, and that's where they are focused on. But obviously, there's still that eye to say, once should we go over Senegal, we have Nigeria to deal with. Yes, that goal against Tanzania, the Twiga Stars, was really a wake-up call for the African champions defense, and I want to believe that after that they've seen the error of their ways, and they'll make sure that they are as solid as possible to ensure that they don't concede further goals. But also, if you look at on the other hand, there have been 7 different goal scorers for Banyana. Yolinda Motlhale, Chemane Soposeni, Yobam Bananembani, the new kid on the block, Ronald Donnelly. You've got Lebo Ramalepe, Refile Jane. They've all scored for Banyana. So it also shows so to speak, a healthy competition in the team to say we don't rely on only one person to score for us, but we are able to score among all of us, which is really great, and that's what you want to see in a team. But yes, defensively they have to be solid to ensure that Senegal does not even get a sniff at goals, because should that happen, then it means you are on the back foot going forward. But I want to believe that the team will do well tonight. They were looking great at training, but there is just a slight niggle with Ronald Donnelly. She may not be available tonight, but we're just waiting for the doctor to actually confirm and the technical team to see how to go about it. But should she not be available, I'm almost certain, like I said, 7 different goal scorers in 3 matches. So which clearly says if she is not available, then we can rely on others to actually get the ball behind the net.
Matlamala Morake, Banyana media officer up in North Africa, where Banyana will be taking on Senegal at 2100 Central African time in a quarter-final match. It is do or die, win or lose. If Banyana wins, they will book a spot in the last 4, that is the semi-finals. Coach Cloaks, thank you so much. You should consider becoming a prophet in your next lifetime, because my next question was going to be about injury worries, and you came up front to explain that there is that concern about the slave queen, she is called, Ronald Donnelly. Thank you so much, and all the best to Banyana.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
14:39 Central African time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play. We are together until 5 p.m. Central African time. You can get in touch with us on X is at Channel Africa 1, and on Facebook the name of our station, Channel Africa. We take a short break. When we come back, we're heading straight to Lusaka, Zambia, where our correspondent Namuchana from Zambia is going to talk to pundits about our topic of the day, where we are looking into the pre-season and the activities that are taking place during the pre-season building up to the new upcoming football season. This is Africa at Play. Asteleli Siashaya.
Africa. It's time to plug into the heartbeat of the continent. Tune in to Channel Africa, your go-to radio station that broadcasts in 5 different languages.
L'Afrique du Sud célèbre la journée nationale du
Kabla hujaitwa kwa jina la Double K
or more of our forests have been destroyed.
Partido Africano da Independência da Guiné.
Channel Africa represents every corner of this amazing land. From Lagos to Cape Town, Nairobi to Dakar, we've got you covered with the freshest news, music, and cultures. So, turn up the volume, feel the rhythm. Enjoy the conversation. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
Pre-season gives managers an opportunity to instill the tactical blueprint they want their team to use during the forthcoming season. Few clubs in Africa go on pre-season preparation while a huge number of clubs fail to do so. We are asking what are the advantages and disadvantages of failing to engage in pre-season games. I have with me former Football Association of Zambia President Mr. Smata with me. Mr. Smata, thank you so much for having taken time to talk to Channel Africa. Mr. Smata, we are looking at pre-season games. What are the advantages and the disadvantages of failing to engage in the pre-season games?
Pre-season is a very important opportunity. Remember, after the break, end of the season, like here in our parts, normally the team is released. They go off to their villages, to their towns. They go off to play. Some of them do not even run again until when the pre-season starts. So it prepares the team in many forms, mentally. It prepares the team physically. It builds the team togetherness. You start fusing in new players who will get used to playing with the old players. So there's a number of advantages it has. And in our amateur ranks, we emphasized a lot on ensuring that it was anywhere between 8 to 12 weeks, nothing less. And every day we train, so that when the week 1 started, we were ready. We were in the mood to play. And we minimized a lot of playing of football, 11 aside. We played more on the tactical side, short games, small games, and the things like that, and kept everybody busy and the whole team working. So there are a lot of advantages. I wish I would say, if you want to see the disadvantages, let a team meet a few days before week 1, and then you will see that football is teamwork because they will be disjointed. The others will be unfit. New ones will not understand the existing. The existing will not understand the new ones. So the whole, especially when you've got a new coach, that is the best time that they will start blending together, understanding the new coach, what are his likes, what are his don'ts, and him understanding the players. So it's a pre-season. There's no other where you can cook a team quicker than a pre-season. Now, there are different levels, of course, amateur and professional, and there's something you would call semi-professional in between here. But all that, the pre-season helps anybody. In fact, I used to know that this is a season we're winning the league, or I'll say to myself, we'll come out top 8, or I'll say to myself, we're going to have a run for our money. We haven't done a lot of work. And it's pre-season. In fact, I would encourage club administrators to really be part of the preseason and not to stay away and just hope to watch the team the first time it comes out in the first week. No. Be part of the preseason. Watch every training session, mingle with the team, and you get to understand whether you're going anywhere. Very important. For the 20 years I spent in Division 1 and Division 2 of the Zambian soccer pyramid, which is Tier 2 and Tier 3, even us amateurs, we had preseason training. In fact, during our time, we amateurs would train, like my team, at least for 12 weeks before the league opened. And it gave us enough time to do the so-called trials, which I never did as such. There was not a time that I ever called for trials. I knew what was missing in my team. I knew what kind of players I was looking for. And as and when they came, we put them out to a test with the rest of everybody. By the time we were reaching the end of the preseason, we had already decided who's staying and who's not staying, because everybody was amateur. To do clubs travel as a camp, like for instance, Club X decides to go and camp in Livingston, camp in London, camp in Dubai, that kind of thing. That most clubs do not do. And the reason is simple. Money. I mean, they can't afford to do that. Air tickets, hotel accommodation, and some clubs even carry wives and girlfriends around. So that can happen. But in terms of camping locally or somewhere in their usual places, they all do. The phenomena I do not like, and I've always wondered why it is done. Because in the big clubs overseas, you never hear that Manchester United or Newcastle or Liverpool or Juventus are having trials for players. I mean, please. If it worked in the 70s, it worked in the 80s, it worked in a bit of the 90s. It doesn't work anymore. Those clubs are made up. They've got scouts who are all over the world watching players. The coach just needs to give them the quality, the quality of player that he wants, or even the player he wants, and they are out there looking for that person. Trials should be left to youth teams, and any coach who will employ that at a tier 1 level or tier 2 level, national division 1 in Zambia, clearly, as he indicated, he doesn't know what he's doing about football. He has no idea, first of all, what are his team's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges. He's just doing it as a rhythm. You don't. But you still get it these days. Oh, there are trials and such a big club. You say to yourself, what? What is that trial? Yeah. Otherwise, preseason training is normal. What we don't have are camps, and only because of money.
Mr. Smata, thank you so much for having taken time to talk to Channel Africa. The views of Mr. Smata, former Football Association of Zambia president. We also got the views of Wezi Mazunda, sports analyst.
Preseason preparations are very important for any club that wants to achieve major things for themselves, and it's sad that few clubs in Africa go on pre-season training break to prepare for the next season. And I understand why. Like I always say, it's a financial issue, a financial muscle that particular club has, which most of them are struggling, and it's hard. It's not easy, but it's a very, very important component in any team if you have to achieve major things and know what you want to achieve for yourself. Because now the calendar has even broadened. You have so many competitions that you can look forward to attending, aside from just winning your league title back home, challenging to win the league title back home. There's obviously qualification to the World Club Championships eventually. There's participation in the CAF Champions League, CAF Confederations Cup, all those things. So you need to prepare yourselves. And for that to happen, obviously during preseason, that's when coaches know which players they can rely on, which players they can use. You have a great pool of players that come. There are new players that come in. So you need that coordination, the cohesion for the team to work so well, understand the team's philosophy, what the team wants to achieve over a period of time, how you're going to work. There are certain teams, maybe you may want to dream big, but maybe your finances will not allow you, because at the end of the day, finances also have a say in how things are going to work. But then you can still believe and work on, ensuring that your club gets in good money, your players are able to apply themselves. So coaches work on their tactical approach to the games, the systems, players understand the coaches, there's that good rapport with the coaches. There's that time you spend together as a team, get to know each other, know your values and everything. But it's a process that any team should go through. So if possible, finances allowing, teams should engage in this practice. It's a very good practice, and trust me, you will win things, you understand each other, you appreciate from which levels you move from, how you grow, maybe from a team that has just been promoted to play in the top flight football, how you're going to be able to grow as a team in the league, because it's not everybody who can win the title, so, and challenge for big things. How you'll be able to grow together as a team, develop as a team, appreciate each other. So it's a very good process, and I hope and pray that eventually most teams will be able to appreciate this process and see the good that it has in football. Thank you very much.
Wezi Mazunda talking to us. The preseason gives managers an opportunity to instill the tactical blueprint they want their team to use during the forthcoming season. Few clubs go on pre-season preparation, while a huge number of clubs fail to do so. We were asking what are the advantages and the disadvantages of failing to engage in pre-season. We had Mr. Smata and Wezi Mazunda, sports analyst for Channel Africa Sports. Namchana from Zambia.
Africa, meet Abedi.
Yeah, that's me.
Abedi is a music lover through and through.
I really love African music.
He's got a taste for all kinds of tunes and spends his days listening to Channel Africa. Guess what? He didn't know.
Okay.
Channel Africa wants to help Abedi and all music lovers everywhere to discover even more incredible music. That is why Channel Africa is calling on all African musicians to submit their music. Musicians, remember to give us all your relevant information. Make your submissions at music@channelafrica.co.za. Submissions are your chance to be heard on radio. But sadly, they do not guarantee that you'll be playlisted. All submissions will be carefully reviewed to see if they meet our station's requirement. Channel Africa, the African perspective. From football fields to finish lines,
Eliud Kipchoge storms into the history books.
Neto Chemane brings you sports on Africa at Play.
14:51 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a warm welcome to Africa at Play. Do join our conversations on our Channel Africa website by clicking on programs and search for Africa at Play. At the bottom right screen of Africa at Play, you can click on more to access those conversations you might have missed out on. It's time for sports news. Starting off with rugby news. Junior Springboks head coach Kevin Foote has named an unchanged matchday squad for the World Rugby Under-20 Championship final against New Zealand on Saturday in Rovigo. Following an unbeaten campaign where South Africa have amassed 226 points across 4 matches on their way to the final, Foote has seen no need to upset a winning formula. South Africa will be gunning for their first title since 2012 in what is their first final since 2014. In their way stand the six-time champions who have also enjoyed an unbeaten campaign, conceding the fewest points so far. Even New Zealand, the most dominant under-20 team in the early editions of the World Championships, had fallen behind. They failed to make the semi-finals that year, as did Australia and Argentina. Only the Junior Boks sneaked into the last 4 along with eventual winners France, Ireland and England. Let's look at the lineup for the Junior Boks. We're looking at Guillermo Mento, Cheslin Josti, Dimitri Erasmus, Albi Besta, Yaku Williams, Vusi Moyo, Hashim P. Wandile Mlaba, Batobele Hlekani and Olani Nyali. JJ Theron really not in the captain, Herman Lube, Siposetu Mnebele and Simpiwe Ngobese. Zambia women's national team has been eliminated from the ongoing Morocco 2024 WAFCON after suffering a 5-0 bashing at the hands of the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Nigeria scored their first goal within 2 minutes into the match through Osinachi Ohale, and Esther Orokonkwo doubled Nigeria's lead in the 33rd minute. Chinchenzo Ihehu, Blessing Temehine and Falashade Ijamilushi each added a goal in the 45th, 68th and 90th minutes, respectively, sending the Copper Queens crashing out of the tournament. Here is the Copper Queens captain, Barbara Banda.
Not our day, but I think we need to get back to our drawing board and work on things that we know that we didn't apply in the game, but so far so good. I think playing quarterfinals against Nigeria, it was a great game, and yeah, I think we have a good team, and this is not the end of the road, but we still have a lot of youngsters that are coming up. We're still growing, so we need to get back together also and work on a few things. I would like to say thank to their support, and they should keep on supporting us, and we keep on doing improving each and every day. Yeah, I think we'll do better in our qualifiers, and we need to qualify also because it's good to qualify to the bigger tournaments and get more experience.
Despite Zambia boasting of world-class players in Rachel Kundananji and Barbara Banda, the Copper Queens played the entire match without a single shot at goal, something that is unusual. Here is forward Rachel Kundananji on the loss.
Firstly, I'll say it's part of the game. There's win, there's lose, there's draw. So just because we have lost today doesn't mean we are losers. Being a champion, when you fail is how you get up and how you carry yourself. As the Copa Queens, we are not backing down, we are not putting our heads down. We are looking forward for the next chapter, which is the qualifiers which are coming, which we need to qualify and next year come back. It means a lot. This was my first game in the quarterfinal since I joined the national team. The last time we were all out in the group stage. This time we are out in the quarterfinals. Next year we are coming back strong. So it meant a lot, and I just need to focus and understand that everything is still on our side, no matter what.
Still in football news, Banyana coach Desiree Ellis says the team is determined to secure a win in the WAFCON quarterfinal against Senegal tonight. South Africa continues its mission to defend the African Championship following a convincing 4-0 win against Mali, which secures a spot in the knockout stage. Speaking at a pre-match press conference, Ellis adds that they will not underestimate their opponents and look forward to a competitive clash against the Lionesses of Teranga.
As I said previously, you underestimate a team at your own peril. Even though you lost to Morocco, you lost to Zambia, it was very tight games. It could have gone either way. We never gave up. We played until the game ended. So you are a team that's never going to give up. You are going to go till the end. So we have to make sure that we nullify everything, that we make sure that we control everything, because as I said, it's the end where one goal can decide the game, and if you are not on your game, you could be going home. That's how big this game is now. So we have to make sure, as much as we're analysing Senegal, they will be analysing us. You don't just play against a team nowadays that knows nothing about you. And yes, we played them last year, but we don't take that into account. It's a completely new game, it's a completely new competition, it's a completely new part of the competition where you either win and go through or you lose and go home. So if you underestimate the team, we're not that team. We're not that team that's going to underestimate any team.
Ellis admits that the defending champions started the tournament slowly and finally picked up in their final group stage fixture against Mali.
We started slowly, and I think we ended well. The game had probably gone on 10 minutes longer. We probably could have gotten a result. I think the Mali game was more about making sure that we're in top and making sure that we start really well, because it was important. And I think the goal came very early. In the Tanzania match we had a chance. In the Ghana match we had a similar chance in the first 3 minutes. And if you score there, it changes the whole complexion of the game. You're then a little bit more in control of the game. You can then dictate matters, and it didn't happen. And it meant us chasing and chasing. So in the Mali game, we took control right from the word go.
The 62-year-old says they are prepared to face a physical Senegal side and have also put a plan in place to surpass them.
Look, we're not going to grow taller in the next 5 seconds or 5 minutes. So we know who we are, we know what we're about. So we have different plans of how to deal with different situations. But obviously I'm not going to tell you that now. You'll just have to wait until the game. We have ways of dealing with that, and then they have ways of the way they have to deal with us. Because we're not going to bring that tall strength physicality that they expect from Zambia, DR Congo, etc. But we have a plan, and if we execute the plan well and to our ability, then we should be moving on to the next round.
Ellis says they will fight until the end and treat every match with the attention it deserves.
You are a team that's never going to give up. You are going to go till the end, so we have to make sure that we nullify everything, that we make sure that we control everything, because as I said, it's the end where one goal can decide the game, and if you are not on your game, you could be going home. That's how big this game is now. So we have to make sure, as much as we're analysing Senegal, they will be analysing us. You don't just play against a team nowadays that knows nothing about you. And yes, we played them last year, but we don't take that into account. It's a completely new game, it's a completely new competition, it's a completely new part of the competition where you either win and go through or you lose and go home.
14:59 Central African Time. That's how we wrap up the first hour of Africa at Play. We spoke to Tsepang Motsekua, who is the marketing manager from the Nelson Mandela Foundation, celebrating the Nelson Mandela Walk and Run and Matiba's legacy, as yesterday was Matiba's birthday, the 18th of July. And we also got to speak to Matlhomola Morake, who is the media manager of Banyana Banyana, that is in Morocco, and will be playing against the Teranga Lionesses of Senegal. We are now heading to the next hour, where we will be talking to our bundles and teenagers in sport under the umbrella of tennis. This is Africa at Play as Delil Siashaya. Thank you for listening.
Africa's Africa at Play is a bundle of joy in sports with Neto Chemane. Exclusive to Africa at Play on Channel Africa. Teenagers in Sports with Neto Chemane.
1500 Central African Time. We are now entering the second hour of Africa at Play, and we're doing it in style as we welcome our bundles and teenagers in sport, starting with our bundle of joy in sport, who is a tennis player who got a scholarship to be part of the Lloyd Harris Tennis Academy, and she is a 12-year-old Unati Kabelane. Unati, good afternoon and welcome to Africa at Play.
Oh, sorry, I'm Chanelo Litafa. My name is Unati Kabelane.
How are you doing, Unati?
I'm doing good.
Thank you so much for joining us on Africa at Play. How long have you been playing tennis? Unati?
Since 2021.
Say that again, Unati.
Since 2021.
Oh, since 2021. What do you love so much about the sport of tennis? Hello, Unati.
Hi.
What do you love so much about the sport of tennis?
It teaches me to be independent.
And at school, what grade are you in? What's your favorite subject?
I'm in grade 6. My favorite subject is math.
Mathematics. And talking about tennis that you say keeps you fit and active, when last did you play a match of tennis?
Pardon?
When last did you play a tennis match?
Yesterday.
How did it go?
We won doubles, then I lost in the quarters.
Okay. Congratulations on the doubles that you've won, and tough luck. There's always the next time. All the best in your next match.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Unati, for talking to us on Africa at Play. That was Unati Kabelana, a 12-year-old tennis player. Thank you so much, Unati. Have a good afternoon further.
Thank you. You too.
Let's also welcome to Africa at Play Winnie Masemola, a 13-year-old tennis player who's also gotten a scholarship to be part of the Lloyd Harris Tennis Academy. Winnie, good afternoon and welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon.
How do you feel about this scholarship of being part of the Lloyd Harris Tennis Academy?
Feels nice because it keeps me busy and yeah.
And how long have you been playing tennis? Winnie?
Yes.
How long have you been playing tennis?
Over 5 years now.
It's been 5 years now, and what do you like so much about tennis?
Keeps me healthy, busy, and achieving my goals.
How was your last game? How did it go?
I lost in semis, my last tournament, and then my first one I won it. And I won singles and doubles, and then the second one I lost in semis and won doubles.
How did you celebrate when you've won in the singles and doubles? That's a big achievement. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How did you celebrate that victory? Winnie?
I was celebrating my cup.
Thank you so much. No, that's good indeed. All the best moving forward, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for talking to us on Africa at Play. Have a good afternoon further.
Thank you, too.
15:04 Central African Time. We are talking to our bundles of joy, that is 12-year-old and below, together with our teenagers in sport. These are the junior tennis players that have been awarded scholarships to be part of the Lloyd Harris Tennis Academy. And Lloyd Harris is a professional tennis player from South Africa. Let's also welcome to Africa at Play Tsenolo Letsapa, who is our third and final bundle of joy in sport. She's currently 11 and turning 12 in August. Tsenolo, good afternoon and welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing best.
Yeah, talk to us about this great achievement of being part of the scholarship of the Lloyd Harris Tennis Academy. How do you feel about it?
I feel good because it can help me to get to my dreams, and I wish my dreams will come true.
And how long have you been playing tennis? What do you like so much about it?
I've been playing tennis for 5 years now. I like it because it can help me to make money and achieve more.
I like that. When you're talking about money, it means you want to play the sport professionally. If all goes accordingly, where would you like to see yourself playing? Any international tournament in mind?
I like to see myself playing Wimbledon.
In the Wimbledon? Oh, nice. Did you watch the Wimbledon action that's been taking place recently?
Yes.
And who is your favorite tennis star?
Novak.
Novak Djokovic. Why Novak Djokovic out of so many tennis stars? What do you like about him?
I like Novak Djokovic because I can take notes from Novak Djokovic because he's maybe mature.
So in the near future, you could end up with a nickname of Djokovic and you will be called Tsenolo Djokovic Letsapa.
Yes.
Lovely stuff. And who is your coach, Tsenolo?
Is Anton.
Okay, what kind of a coach is... Talk to us about your coach. What do you like so much about them?
I like them because they help me to fix my technique.
Interesting indeed. That's Tsenolo Letsapa, currently 11, turning 12 in August. Tsenolo, your birthday is coming up. Are you getting a special gift from your parents?
I hope so.
All the best. What are you looking forward to? If your parents are listening, what gift are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to maybe to travel to many countries.
Interesting indeed. Thank you so much for talking to us on Africa at Play. All the best moving forward.
Thank you.
15:07 Central African Time. That's how we wrap up our conversation with our two bundles of joy in sport. Unati Kabelana, a 12-year-old, and Tsenolo Letsapa, 11-year-old, as well as Winnie Masemola, 13-year-old, our teenager in sport. If you have missed out on any of our conversations, please do make time to visit our Channel Africa website. You click on programs and search for Africa at Play. At the bottom right screen of Africa at Play, you can click on more to listen to those conversations. Happening in the world of sport is the World Championship under 20, that is rugby, under the Rugby Union at 15:30 Central African Time. There is a match between Italy under 20 and Wales under 20. At 1800, it's Australia under 20 up against England under 20. Then action continues between Spain and Ireland, also at 15:30, and at 20:30, Georgia under 20 will take on Scotland under 20. 1800, France under 20 will line up against Argentina, and 2030 New Zealand under 20 will take on South Africa under 20. And there's also more action in the friendly international of World Rugby, where Canada will take on... Actually, Canada played against Spain and they lost by a narrow 1 point, 23-24. And that match took place in the early hours at 3 a.m. Central African Time. At 9:05, New Zealand played against France, winning that match by 29-19. South Africa will take on Georgia at the Mbombela Stadium at 17:10 Central African Time. today. And at 21:40, Argentina is up against Uruguay, while the United States of America will clash against England at 23:05 Central African Time. In the Lions Tour of Australia, the match that took place at 12 midday, Australia and the British Irish Lions, that match ending at 19-27 in favour of the British Irish Lions. We take a short break. When we come back, Africa at Play continues.
The Midnight Snack, 12 to 3 a.m.
Young couples or young people that are getting married, we often hear of divorces, that they're getting divorced, and it's quite worrying because when we attend these weddings, we want to see these people flourish and celebrate 30-year anniversaries. What do you think is the main challenge that is facing newlyweds?
We say that tell me how you were raised and I'll tell you how you're loved. So when we see people getting married, that's not where the relationship actually starts. The relationship starts with how you were raised, what you were familiar with, because we are attracted to what we are familiar with. If you don't have a background where love was prominent, where love was authentic, it's going to be very difficult for you to manufacture that in later life. So our upbringing has something to do with it.
The Midnight Snack, every Monday, 12 to 3 a.m. with Chanduko Ligege. The stories, the scores, the spirit of the game. Catch Africa at Play with Neto Chemane. Saturdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on Channel Africa.
You're so
funny.
Thank you.
Alright.
Nice and easy, clean. Don't forget what caught your eye at 22.
Yes.
And then, yeah, we're good.
Fantastic.
23, my love.
Oh,
okay.
Show your name on it.
Ken ka intro ele. Yeah.
Yo.
Coming to you all the way from the Auckland Park Studios in Johannesburg, South Africa, this glorious Thursday afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are live on our social media platforms at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, if you have DSTV, it's 802 OpenView Channel 628. Download the SABC Plus app so you can take us with you wherever you go. Good afternoon to you, Mateko. How are you doing this afternoon?
My dearest, I am happy that you got the memo that this show is wearing black today. Our social media specialist is wearing black.
Excellent.
Our madam producer is in black. You are in black. I'm in black. I love it for us.
Black.
All black.
We actually need to do a photo shoot.
And actually, a group photo.
Group
Yeah.
photo.
With all black everything. Hello there, my name is Matsheko Musito and I am contributing as co-host on a show called The Upside here on Channel Africa. We are in your company wherever you are on the African region between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. in Central African time.
Hey guys, Tebohole Kuleni here from the Upside team on Channel Africa, the African Perspective. Join us every single weekday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Central African time for the ultimate afternoon drive show.
Bringing you lifestyle, news and views and opinion, most importantly, because that matters always, hey? So catch us on air. I, of course, work with the wonderful Tebohole Kuleni and we are very happy to be here, so join us.
Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebohole Kuleni and Matsheko Musito. Tamengo Bene talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique, with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa.
Right, coming up after the news at 9 o'clock, we have On the Move with Palisa and Benjamin. Good morning, Palisa.
Morning, Peter. How are you?
I'm always fabulous. Thank you very much indeed.
Doing good. Well, let me tell you a story, Peter. If you look, in fact, just outside this window, right, you can see the street right next to us. There's a street like coming through, a residential street coming this way. Back in varsity, I went to the University of Johannesburg, the Bunting Road campus on our right, and there's the Kingsway campus on our left. A friend of mine and I went to the library. We couldn't find the book we wanted, so we walked to the Kingsway campus, to that library. Got there, found what we needed, and then walked down through this residential area. And as we were about to reach, like a few meters just before the SABC here where we are, we got mugged by two guys. And we got mugged in front of a group of men doing construction in one of those residential houses. They just watched it happen and everything happened. The guys took our phones and they ran off, got in a car, shoot. We're obviously devastated. They went on to do the work that they wanted to do. So we're speaking about, I'm telling you the story because in the first hour of the show, we're speaking about community involvement in addressing personal crises. And we're finding out the question, have you ever witnessed someone in distress and said nothing? Or you were too scared or nonchalant to intervene? So that's the conversation we're having in the first hour of today's show.
Wow. I mean, it's an interesting one. And sadly, especially gender-based violence.
Yeah.
Everybody sees it, everybody hears it, and for some reason, it's a difficult thing for people to intervene. I'm fascinated to hear about that conversation.
Africa is a story, a living, breathing, ever-evolving masterpiece. And for over 5 decades now, one voice has told it like no other. Channel Africa. More than just a broadcaster, Channel Africa is the pulse of the continent, African-led, African-run, and deeply rooted in its heritage. It's the only international station that speaks to Africa in its own voices: English, Kiswahili, Chinyanja, French, and Portuguese. The languages that unite 1 billion people. We have been there through every shift, every milestone, and every triumph. Not just reporting history, but shaping the conversations that define Africa's future. For brands, media planning, and advertisers, Channel Africa is more than just a platform. It's an opportunity. With 25 compelling shows covering current affairs, sports, business, music, and lifestyle, we deliver an engaging Pan-African audience ready to connect, invest, and act. Multi-award winning, internationally recognized, digitally accessible across the globe. When Africa speaks, the world listens, and Channel Africa makes sure of it. For business, for culture, for Africa. Partner with Channel Africa, because Africa's voice is the future. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tepuho Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m., 5 till 6. We put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochi Tika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa.
Hey guys, so it's about 30 minutes before we have to go onto the show and go live, and we're just having our own little briefing session with the team. We've got our producer in the background, Unsako. We've got my amazing co-host, Neto Chemane.
Also, I'm not amazing.
We've got Unsako that side, and we just just getting our ducks in a row for the show. Once we go live, there's no turning back. Make mistakes, we make them on air, but we try our best to prepare and ensure that we don't do that when we go on. And when we do, and we laugh about it, guys, we're only human. But this is how it looks like when we're just getting ready for the show. Enjoy. Here we go. Mix. Let's go. Come on. Let the creative juices flow.
The tree, what's at the bottom of it?
The root.
Thank you. If I'm not excited, like I'm just sitting around, I have nothing to do.
Bored.
Thank you. If it's not mist, it's
mist.
Mist. If it's not mist in the morning, you can't see the road. It's like a cloud.
Bright and early in the morning.
Like
sometimes your brain experiences.
It rhymes with dog. Thank you. I don't know this one.
Which one is this one, guys? Hi, guys. Come on, huh?
What is this? When I'm doing this, thank you. Yeah. You're so
funny.
Thank you.
Alright.
Nice and easy, clean. Don't forget what caught your eye at 22.
Yes.
And then we're good.
Fantastic.
23, my love.
Oh, okay. Show your name on it.
Ken ik intro hele? Ja.
Go. Coming to you all the way from the Auckland Park Studios in Johannesburg, South Africa, this glorious Thursday afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are live on our social media platforms at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, if you have DSTV, it's 802 OpenView channel 628. Download the SABC Plus app so you can take us with you wherever you go. Good afternoon to you, Mateko. How are you doing this afternoon?
My dearest, I am happy that you got the memo that this show is wearing black today. Our social media specialist is wearing black.
Excellent.
Our madam producer is in black. You are in black. I'm in black. I love it for us.
All black.
All black.
We actually need to do a photo shoot.
And actually,
After the
a
show.
group photo.
A
Yeah,
group photo.
with all black everything.
Hello there, my name is Matsako Musito and I am contributing as co-host on a show called The Upside here on Channel Africa. We are in your company wherever you are in the African region between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. in Central African time.
Hey guys, Tebohole Kuleni here from the Upside team on Channel Africa, the African Perspective. Join us every single weekday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Central African time for the ultimate afternoon drive show.
Bringing you lifestyle, news and views and opinion, most importantly, because that matters always, hey? So catch us on air. I, of course, work with the wonderful Tebohole Kuleni and we are very happy to be here, so join us.
Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebohole Kuleni and Matseko Musito. Tamengo Bene talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique, with Joel Muteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond.
Still tuned in to Africa at Play. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome. We are together until 5 p.m. Central African time. It was a double play. The song that just ended is Mukomba Masanga Ngango by Mukomba. And before that, we played you Kelvin Momo and the musical chef Bokoko featuring Tracy Tatohatsi. Latest in the world of sport, in basketball, Snoop Dogg has become a co-owner of the championship side Swansea City in an unlikely alliance between the world of rap and football. The Welsh club announced the 53-year-old American star joins former Real Madrid stalwart and Croatia World Cup finalist Luka Modric in the club's ownership structure. Snoop Dogg made a surprise appearance on the club's social media channels last week, modeling their new home jersey for the 2025-2026 season, and the club announced on Thursday that he has become an investor. His involvement comes after American businessmen Brett Cravett and Jason Cohen took over the club last November. Swansea will hope that Snoop Dogg, whose real name is Kevin Brodas, can use his 100 million plus social media followers to boost the club's profile as they seek to return to the Premier League for the first time since they were relegated in 2018. Swansea's owners have said they wanted to generate greater revenue, which would allow them to invest more in new players under the profit and sustainability rules in British football. The 53-year-old rapper said on the club's website his love of football is well known, but it feels special to him that he makes a move into a club ownership with Swansea City. From football to basketball, the latest, the Kings reportedly are interested in signing a free agent point guard, Ben Simmons. The three-time NBA All-Star has received interest from Sacramento per multiple reports, along with other teams such as the New York Knicks. Simmons, the number one overall pick in the 2016 NBA draft, has struggled with injuries over the last few seasons. A disc issue has stymied the 28-year-old, forcing him to miss significant time and sapping much of the dynamic playmaking ability that him or one of the elite players coming into the league. Still, Simmons would easily fit into Sacramento's lineup, so as a potential partnership isn't out of the question. In cricket, Proteas spin bowler Sanaram Mutusami had to wait a long time to make his T20 international debut for South Africa, but finally did so when they faced New Zealand in their tri-series match in Harare on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's fantastic to get a crack and to get a go. I think I have waited in line and waited my turn now, so I'm really enjoying the opportunities. I'm very grateful for them. And yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I think I've had the opportunity to really be a part of the squad and integrate the last few months, which has been fantastic, and to learn in different conditions. And I think that's what carrying drinks does bring. It's an awesome opportunity to grow and to learn and bounce ideas off and to be a part of the group and to add value where you can and to learn. So yeah, very grateful for the opportunity.
Mutusami believes playing for the Pretoria Capitals in the SA20 has helped sharpen his skills in the shortest format of the game and will stand him in a good state at international level. Mutusami also aims to cement his place in the team in order to make next year's T20 World Cup squad in India and Sri Lanka.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, the other day was my debut. I have played a fair bit of T20 cricket, and I think I've had the opportunity to play at the Pretoria Capitals the last 3 seasons, and that's helped my growth in the format, Yeah, it's fantastic. I think I can add value to the group and value across all 3 disciplines. So yeah, I'm embracing the challenge and learning along the way.
In what was perhaps an element of surprise, Mutusami was even promoted up to the order to bat at 4 against the Black Caps, although he could only muster 7 runs from 9 balls faced. He says modern-day cricket demands that players be flexible enough to meet the needs of a particular game.
I really feel that this is the way modern cricket is going. I think in a batting order, it's more overs or situation-based. And everybody in the top 8 or top 9 nowadays, you've got to be fluid and adaptable. And I think a series like this at this stage is really awesome. To try a few things, to gauge a few options, and for us to really grow as well.
15:32 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, this is Africa at Play as Delelisia Shire. We are live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time on DSTV Audio Bouquet Channel 802 or OpenView 628 if you are in South Africa. If not, you can reach us from anywhere in the world on channelafrica.co.za, also available on SABC+. In celebration of the Nelson Mandela Day and Madiba's legacy, we will be having a conversation with an energetic gentleman from South Africa's Eastern Cape province, Onke Sitwayi, who is walking 27 days in a row in an effort to raise funds for an eco lab for his disadvantaged village area. We will find out more about Onke in just a moment.
The Upside, your afternoons just got even better.
Bantu Biko Street by Simpiwe Dana. Ndi ready. Simpiwe, 20 years in song. So what emotions come up when you hear that, hey, you've been doing this for 20 years now?
It almost feels like no time has passed, eh? I just, I know obviously time has passed, but I don't feel it. Even about my age, I'm 45. I always get shocked when I think, oh my God, in 5 years' time, I'll be 50. Because for me as an artist, it's almost like when it comes to certain things, time stands still. And as a result, you find that a lot of artists are very childlike, which, helps them to always have a fresh approach to issues.
I tell you what, I'm feeling healed just by that.
We take no sides, none whatsoever. We are The Upside. Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
15:35 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a warm welcome to Africa at Play. We now welcome to the conversation in studio. We've got Onke Sitwai, a gentleman who's ever energetic, raising funds to build an eco lab in Eastern Cape at a disadvantaged area, and is doing this by running for 27 days, actually walking for 27 days. Onke, good afternoon and welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, my king. Thank you for having me here today. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you so much for joining us on Africa at Play as we continue to celebrate Madiba Day and Madiba legacy, not just in South Africa or the African continent, but in different parts of the world. You have your own initiative, walking for 27 days in a row, something that you've done it before. What triggered that interest to walk for 27 days?
I've always wanted to do something for my community because where I come from, our schools that side don't have access to resources. Our high schools don't have access to resources. We don't have preschools that side. So the dream actually started as building a preschool for my village. So the dream over the years, it has evolved to an eco lab because of the conversations that I keep on having with my community leader, the chief of where I come from. So whenever I go back home, he always tell me about high school kids that have been to high school, matriculants that have passed, but now are just hanging around doing nothing. And you must remember, these kids had a routine from when they were young until they reached matric, and now all of a sudden they're doing nothing. So that it makes some of them end up doing like drugs, end up drinking because there's nothing for them to do. So the idea of the 27 days walk came from me trying to give my village a voice. So initially, when I started talking about this thing with my friends, I told them, okay, I'm going to walk from Joburg to Amtata for 7 days. I said, yeah, you can't do that. That's impossible. So whenever someone says the word impossible to me, it's like a trigger, like it challenges me. I was like, no, I'm going to do it. And then someone said, why? And I need to do something. I need to find a way to bring attention to my community and everything that's lacking that side. And I remember someone saying, no, why don't you make it more days so that it's more fun and maybe you can invite people on the road. And when I started brainstorming with my friends, I started thinking about Utatu Nelson Mandela, and that's someone that I adore, someone that I look up to. When I was like, okay, Utatu Nelson Mandela, 27 years in prison, 27 days. It would be nice if I can use the work to commemorate the 27 years that he spent in prison. Anyway, celebrating him. So the idea of me now doing 27 days work was to honor him, Utatu Nelson Mandela. And then I did my first walk in 2021 after they opened up after COVID. It was like a trial run, because I was just excited. I just wanted to do something, and then we did the walk, and then it was from Joburg to Eastern Cape, and we welcomed by our mayor that side. Great celebration. And then the second walk was from Joburg again to Cape Town. The one to Cape Town, it was like I needed to prove a point to myself. Like, okay, I want to see if I'm gonna really do this thing. But the idea for the walk is to try and bring attention or create awareness about lack of resources in the villages, because we've got kids in the villages that want to go to school. If I can tell of a story of this young man, Anedem Kapi, who studied matric, passed matric, just because he didn't have access to resources or he didn't know where to go to apply to varsity. He passed with B. It's not like someone who had to improve his marks, but he didn't want to sit around and do nothing. He decided to go back to high school and study again. And then he went again he did matric twice. passed it twice, and the second time my brother took him in and tried to and got him bursaries, he got him to NMMU, and now that guy is a qualified engineer. So I was like, okay, now we need to bring these resources to my village. So, and then from a preschool, the idea developed to an eco lab, a space where we have computers and have access to internet, so that for those who really want to further their education, want to go and study universities, they can have access to information, they can have access to internet, so that they can apply online, because it's hard for them to go from our village to town. You have to pay 45 rand to 60 rand using a taxi, and that's the money they don't have. So now, how about bringing those resources closer to them so that they can utilize this eco lab? So we are planning on building the first of its kind. So I've been talking to Celsi, and there's this guy in architecture from Cape Town called Joe Nuero, who's an architect who's helping us to design this model that we want to use. Hopefully we can build it for other villages as well, but we're going to start with my village. Yeah.
Starting with his village, his name is Onke Sitwai, who is working 27 days in honor of Madiba legacy, but also an effort to raise funds to be able to build an eco lab where the disadvantaged young people will be able to have access to computers, to the internet, and be able to do something fruitful about their lives and not be lost to teenage pregnancy, drug abuse, and many other wrong destinations. Onke, thank you so much for pulling through. Let's talk about this initiative. Where is your village? And when you walked to Dujwa, is it close to your village?
Okay. So my village is in our town, our small town is called Eklocha, which is in English is in Elodale. The English name that was given is Elodale. So it's Eklocha. So Eklocha is under Mbashe municipality, which is Mbashe municipality offices in Edujwa. So my village is called Ewobeni. Ewobeni is under Nkosu Patsile. So that's where my village is under Mbashe municipality. So, and also on the we those are the people that I've also reached out to, because we would like to work with the government. Because we want to make this thing work. But now, even when I was talking to Celsi, because Celsi, they have got this thing of they one is one of their CSI. They build computer labs for villages. So now we're asking them, or we're talking to them to help us to build a village. So one of the things that they do, they build a computer lab, but now we have to find someone to look after that lab and to educate students on how to utilize those computers. And the nice thing about them is that they do take people, they will have to provide them maybe with 1 or 2 students to go and for training. But now we need the government, especially the Department of Education, to pay those kids. It's like creating jobs as well. We're not only building an eco lab, but we are creating job opportunities, especially for someone in our village.
Let's also talk about the 27 days walk. You've had 2 editions of those walks so far, one to Dujwa and one to Cape Town. The one to Dujwa, is it from Johannesburg?
Yes, the one to Dujwa was from here, from Johannesburg to Dujwa.
And the
second one was from here to Cape Town. The first one from Joburg to Dujwa, it was more like of a boys' trip, because there was 4 of us. So me and a friend of mine called Apendule Pakade. Apendule Pakade was working with me, and then I got 2 guys, because both walks, even for this next walk that I'm doing, we're both sponsored by Isuzu. They gave us a car, for like a support car, to put our camping gear, food, refreshments, and everything, so that we can be able to, the team can be able to drive around. They can be able to pick me up from where I stop and then come and drop me back again the following day. So the one to Dujwa was very exciting, because I had my boys with me, but the one to Cape Town now was very challenging, because I was walking by myself and one of my guys was driving. It was very, very painful, and it was double the distance from here to Dujwa, because from here to Eastern Cape is like 800 kilometers, and from here to Cape Town it's
over 1,000. It's about 1,420.
About 1,400. So it's doubled the distance. So it was very, very challenging.
For someone who's never heard of it before, how does it work? How do you go about it? Do you walk for 27 days non-stop?
Okay,
when do you take breaks? Do you even take breaks? How do you go about it?
So on the walk to Cape Town, I had to come up with a routine, like a way on how I'm going to conquer each day. Because one thing I've realized that for me to make it to Cape Town in 27 days, I will have to do 50 plus minus 50 kilometers a day. If I do less than, I might not make it. Yeah. So every day I will do 50 kilometers. So I came up with a routine, like, okay, 2 hours, 30 minutes, that's per hour, I'm doing 5 kilometers. So 2 hours, 30 minutes is like 12 kilometers. So I do that until I walk from 6 until 6. So when you get to 6, all those 2 hours, 30 minutes, 2 hours, 30 minutes, 30 minutes water break, 2 hours, 30 minutes, 1 minute like nutritional break. Because on the road, I only eat veggie, like light food, veggies, dried fruits, so that I remain light. So, and then 2 hours, 30 minutes, the last 30 minutes water break, and then the last 2 hours, 30 minutes. And then by the time I finish, I reach 6 p.m., then when you add up those 5 kilometers, it adds up to 50 kilometers. Sometimes I've got good days where I reach 60. Sometimes I've got challenges days where I do 30. So I have to make it up the following day. And it's very challenging and it's very painful. But there's something from it for me. It's like when I'm walking, it's like I'm tapping to something that's there. Because I believe that we were feet are made for walking. Just that we've become lazy because of technology. So because of technology and because of cars. So now you request for food, to go to the shops you're driving. So I think by walking it helped me to connect to that part of us as human beings. All of us, I believe everyone can walk. Just that, and it's not about getting there faster, it's about just finishing the walk. Just that for me, I've just challenged myself to do it in 27 days.
15:45 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, we are talking to Onke Sitshwayo, also known as the New Age Madiba. We will find out more about that nickname after this short break. This is a gentleman who is raising funds by working 27 days in honor of Madiba's legacy, but also to be able to raise those funds for an eco lab in his village in the Eastern Cape. This is Africa at Play as Delil Siashai.
Ahoy, matey!
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram or on X at Channel Africa One. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa One. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective. The stories, the scores, the spirit of the game. Catch Africa at Play with Neto Chemane. Saturdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on Channel Africa.
15:47 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, welcome to Africa at Play. We are together until 5 p.m. Central African Time. Back again tomorrow, same place, same time, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central African Time. We are wrapping up a conversation with Onke Sitshwayo, the New Age Madiba, who's running for 27 days in honor of Madiba and celebrating the iconic Madiba, but also raising funds for a good cause, an eco lab for the young people back in the Eastern Cape at his village where life is tough. Okay, New Age Madiba, how did you get
the name? So my father's side ngojola oqenga bomphangoma ithola umthakazo intombi embele bethu bambele made ngixesha namphesho komlambo. On my mother's side, my mother is from the Madiba clan. So it's like I'm a nephew ndungumtshana kwaMadiba. So in a way ndungumadiba. In a way, I may not be directly related to Tatunesi Madiba, but I'm a nephew to that clan. So that's where that name comes from. That's one other reason why I decided to choose that name. And also the second reason is because there's this thing called affirmation, speaking things into existence. Yeah. So since Utatu Nelson Mandela is someone that I look up to, there are some attributes or characteristics about him that I would like to was it emulate? I think that's the that's the English word for it. So that's why I call it. So it's like I'm speaking this. I want to be like him, or even be okay. I can't be better than him, but I'm trying to try and do what he did for the people. Anyway, so in a way, by calling myself the New Age, my dear, it's me reminding me every day of the responsibility that I have, especially as someone who's been fortunate enough to have parents that are working and sent him to a school, to a private school. So now the word is to remind me of what I want to do for my village as well.
What happens after you reach your target of 50Ks or 60Ks on day one?
On day one.
What happens afterwards?
So the work, we just do this thing on faith. So every day, since I told you that we've got, Isuzu sponsors us with a car, so I've got a team there in the car that's, if let's say, whichever road we're working on, so my team is going to look for an accommodation. So, and tell them about what we're doing, and send them the paperwork, the interviews that we did, like the interview like this, so, and we're going to use it as a reference to send it to them, so that because there's a lot of crime that's going on in some areas, so it's hard for people to trust, so we have to prove it to them who we are. So now, having this interview, sharing with them from Channel Africa, it validates our story. So, and then 90% of the time we get accommodations for free, the spirit of Ubuntu. That's what we experience on the road. So when I'm done working, wherever I stop, the guys who are in the car, they come and pick me up, and then we go to wherever we're going to be sleeping for the night. Most of the time they cook for us. And then the following day, we move from that accommodation to the following day. But sometimes the guys that give us accommodation for free, they want to share breakfast with us. They don't want me to leave from 6 a.m. So now I end up leaving at 8, 9, because I think it's only right that I give them the attention that they deserve. So, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing the work in September, because it's like celebrating our heritage. Music, clothing is one of the heritage that we celebrate, but one also that we need to pay attention to is the spirit of Ubuntu. So which is something that people were celebrating yesterday or were implementing yesterday or during Nelson Mandela Day. So I want us to do the same thing also the whole of September.
Interesting indeed. And so far, you're happy with the previous 2 editions that you've embarked on?
Yeah, the first 2 walks that I did, for me, I think were just learning curves. They allowed me to learn what we need on the road, how to approach certain brands and sponsors, because for this to happen, we rely on the support of the people. So now this has started as my dream, but now it's not on. I want it to be there's a quote from I think it's from the Khoi, is the Khoi proverb. It says that a dream is not a dream until it is shared by everyone. For the first 2 walk, I was trying to share that dream with the people, but now I really want people to be involved, to support us. You can go as far as sharing our story. If you don't have money to donate, go as far as sharing the story, because sometimes we sleep on the small actions that we do. Share a story, share our story. Who knows who it might reach? It might reach the person that we're looking for, the person who has the resources, or the person that has been looking for a project to invest in, but that they don't know where to go. So whoever is listening, we appreciate for anyone who help us to share our story, buy our t-shirts. It helps with our t-shirts, because this is self-funded. We're doing this from our pockets. So now we're using the funds from the t-shirts to fund the actual work, because when Isuzu give us the car, we have to pay for petrol, and petrol has been going up. So petrol has been going up, so we really need the support of the people, and for people to be invested in this dream and this idea as well, to make it a reality for myself and for people in my village as well. Who knows, we can end up going to other villages as well, because we're not stopping there. We don't want to stop only in my village.
When is your next walk and where to?
My next walk is from the 1st of September until the 27th of September. Is from Cape Town to Eastern Cape, Mthatha. So that's where I'll be walking. So I'll be doing the garden road. So because I want to experience people have been telling me a lot about the garden road and how beautiful it is. So I want to experience the garden road as well. So I'll be taking the garden road all the way to Eastern Cape.
Do you train in preparation of these walks?
To be honest with you, it's the mind. I have to train my mind, and also the second thing that helps, the two things that helps me is the training my mind, speaking positive things. Like I have to see myself finishing the work before doing the work. And the second thing that has been very helpful is the food, is diet. So on the walk, I go on a full plant-based diet. I drink water and I only eat fruits and veggies. So that's what helps me, because it keeps me light. It helps me to refuel my body and be, diet is something that I think as people who are sleeping on. I think if we were aware of the things that we put in our system, a lot of people wouldn't be ending up in hospitals. Because for me, ever since I've been on this be in and out of this plant diet, I've never been to I haven't seen a doctor in 10 years. I've never been to a hospital in 10 years.
That's very healthy.
Yeah, it's very healthy. And also just walking. Now, there was a time I used to walk to, as part of my preparation, I would walk to my friend's place, 50 kilometers away, maybe from Baklu to Pretoria. I'll walk to my girlfriend's place. I'll walk to my sister's place, just to go. For the whole day, I'll be walking. And then when I get there, I sleep, I cook, I sleep. So I think also the habit of walking, we as people, we need to start this habit of walking, just going to the shops. One thing that I appreciate about this interview is that your guys' lift are not working. So now you guys are forced to walk up and down the stairs. And I felt those days when I was walking, I was like, yeah, you see, I'm sure if you were to look at your weight by the end of the year, you're gonna lose some kgs. It's a great way to exercise.
Final two from me. Your favorite Madiba quote, and what would you like to say to Africans listening to this conversation that could be keen to be part of this initiative?
My favorite Madiba quote, what is it? It always seems impossible until it is done. That's one of the quotes that I also live by, because when I started this thing, I didn't know that I could do it. It seemed impossible. So until I finished the first one, and then something just happened. What is your second question?
Oh, my second question is Africans listening to this conversation who would like to be part of this initiative?
I think I'm gonna go back to that proverb to all my African brothers and African sisters, that a dream is not a dream until it is shared by everyone. So if you know of anyone or you have met of anyone who have a dream of doing something for their community, please be part of their dream, support them, ask them what role can you play. You don't have to, because we think that supporting someone is by money. I remember I was talking to my mother. My mother was telling me to come back home. I was like, anginamal, because she was doing something. There was umsebenzi besenzeka. And then she said to me, she doesn't need my money. She just needs my presence. So sometimes just your presence, goes a long way. So if we can find those who have dreams of helping others or bringing help to their communities, I would say share that dream with them. I want to share that dream with them, share their story. A dream is not a dream until it is shared by everyone.
His name is Onke Sitrai, also known as the New Age Madiba, a gentleman who is a nephew to the Madiba clan and really loves the journey that Madiba has had as the former president of South Africa and the global icon. He is running for 27 days in a row in an effort to raise funds for an eco-lab in his village in Eastern Cape. He will be heading to Cape Town in his next walk, which is scheduled for September 2025. Onke, thank you so much for pulling through to Africa at Play. How do people who want to be part of this initiative get hold of you?
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having me. So, if for you to be part of this dream that we have, please follow us on all social media platforms at Dream Out Loud SA. It's like Dream Out Loud South Africa, but so the hand is Dream Out Loud SA. We really appreciate your support to share our story. You can support us also, but as I was saying, this is self-funded by because we're trying to raise funds now for fuel and for the money that we're going to need for the road. So by buying our t-shirts, if you go to Instagram, you're going to see our t-shirts there. TikTok, everywhere is Dream Out Loud SA. If you like to be in contact with me directly, my number is 062 513 7768. To say it again, it's 062 513 7768. We will really appreciate your ideas. I'm open to ideas as well on how we can make this work impactful and how we can make it touch a lot of lives and assist with other organizations that are existing as well that we would love, because I also use the work as a platform to share light on other people that are doing things in their community. So if you like for us to help you to shine a light to what you're doing during the course of the work, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to assist you.
Ongesijai, thank you so much for pulling through to Africa at Play. All the best with your great initiative, working 27 days in an effort to raise funds for an eco lab for your village in the Eastern Cape.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Oh, one thing that I forgot, also there's a crowdfunding link on our social media page, all of them, be it X, or I almost said Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram. There's a Back a Body link that you can use that link to help us to raise funds. You can use it to donate, or you can share it with the people that you know.
That's how we wrap up our conversation with Ongesijai, who will be running for 27 days in an effort to raise funds for an eco lab for young people in his village in the Eastern Cape. So far, he's done 2 walks, walking to Edudra in the Eastern Cape from Johannesburg, and another one from Johannesburg to Cape Town, which is almost double the distance between Johannesburg and Edudra, and Johannesburg heading to Cape Town. We also spoke to our bundles of joy and teenagers in sport, 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds, 3 of them who have just been given scholarships to be part of the Lloyd Harris Tennis Academy. That's how we wrap up this second hour. And heading into the second hour, we will be making moves across the African continent and globally to find out what's happening in the world of sport, starting with a report from Nigeria from our correspondent, Tony Tonero Ubani, in at 4 p.m. And as we wrap up, let's remind you that the Boks will be taking on Georgia at 17:10 Central African Time, and that match is taking place in Mpumalanga. This is Africa at Play.
When you're at the top, you become the conversation. Join the hot conversation with Neto and Neto Chemane on Channel Africa, on Africa at Play. Drop us a voice note on +27 63 406 9126.
1600 Central African Time, we've officially entered the third and final hour of Africa at Play. But worry not, we will be back again tomorrow, same place, same time, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central African Time. Let's now go to West Africa, to Nigeria, and find out what is the latest in Nigerian sport with Tony Tonero Ubani.
A former The Tigers star, Teresa Magdangosu, is saddened by the junior The Tigers defeat against Hungary in the FIBA Under-19 Women's World Cup, which eliminated them from the title race. The Nigerian team lost to Hungary with a score of 77-51, resulting in their exit from the main tournament and entry into the classification games. The team's overall performance in the tournament has been mixed, with a single win against China and losses to Portugal and Canada. The defeat to Hungary concluded the junior Tigers run in the main tournament. They will now compete in the classification games for 9th to 16th place. The team's performance has been inconsistent, with a notable loss to Canada, 113-42, and a narrow victory against China, 93-88. The loss to Portugal, 79-61, was also a point of concern as the team struggled with turnovers, defense, and free throw accuracy. The defeat to Hungary was characterized by Hungary's serious execution. Teresa Magdangosu said the 2024 FIBA Under-18 Women's Afro Basketball runners-up were guilty of turning the ball over needlessly, failing to defend properly, not putting away their shots from the three-point line, and missing several of their free throws. Teresa Magdangosu speaks.
I mean, you can only perform as good as you are prepared, right? And preparation has always been a huge issue with Nigeria traveling for any basketball tournament. I mean, we can already see what's going on with the situation with the senior D Tigers in preparation for the Afro Basket. And it's really sad that we are always back to the same case every time. And I think the girls did what they knew how to do. I mean, and the coaches also managed the situation with the players that they had. So that's the situation for me. That's what I felt was the reason for all of these lapses. Because if you check the stats always, the difference in points or rebounds and all of that is not too much, right? It's not that bad. But at the end of the day, we have, our girls playing against people that are undoubtedly better than them, better prepared or better scorers or rebounders. They have better inside presence than our girls, and of course the training schedule, the kind of facilities that they have and all those kind of things always outmatch what we have.
CAF officials led by the President Hamad Kaba Malboum was full of praises for Nigeria, particularly Ogun State, for hosting the championships despite the short notice. The CAA boss praised Nigeria as the biggest economy and a powerhouse for the continent, which was the reason the CAA turned to Nigeria when there was the setback of the withdrawal of the former host, Algeria. I wish to express my deepest gratitude to the highest authorities of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, particularly to His Excellency Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Head of State, for having authorized the organization of our championships and our meetings here in Nigeria. Permit me also to extend my recognition to Honorable Dapo Abiodun, the Governor of Ogun State, for putting at the disposal of African youth athletes the sports facilities that could allow them to compete in very efficient environments. We all know that Nigeria is the biggest economy in Africa and one of the leading countries in the continent. This is the reason behind the decision of our CAA Council to make a request to Nigeria to host these events in Abeokuta immediately after the withdrawal of Algeria for reasons beyond our control. It was a great opportunity for our young athletes and leaders of our sports in Africa to experience the hosting capacity of Nigeria, and specifically the Ogun State. The CAA President, however, assured stakeholders that the continent's body is committed to ensuring the consistent organization of the African Junior Championships so as to prevent the continent from further losing its athletes to developed countries. In fact, the phenomenon of the change of nationality of our athletes in our favor of developed countries is bleeding Africa of its best athletes, talents in athletics, with a negative impact in the development of sports in general and athletics in particular in our continent. Therefore, the CAA is resolutely determined to regularly organize its under-18 and under-20 championships to give opportunity to our young athletes to express their talent, and by so doing, we will be able to produce new talents for the benefit of our continent, he added. The third edition of the CAA African Under-18, Under-20 Championships, which began on July 16th, will be rounded up on Sunday, July 20, at the new Look MKO Sports Arena in Abeokuta, Ogun State. The CAA president speaks.
I was confident that we will find the right support here in Nigeria. Look at the stadium, beautiful stadium for the youth. And the welcome to this country is wonderful.
And of course, as the events continue, Burkina Faso and indeed South Africa, have just been amassing medals, and through Zango Salesa, who clinched gold in the under-18 women's triple jump with a leap of 12.79 meters, edging out Morocco's Massat Kauta, who jumped 12.39 meters to take silver. Tunisia's Fidel Chidi claimed bronze with a mark of 12.26 meters. Later in the day, defending champions South Africa joined the gold tally as naturally won the under-18 high jump event with a 2.00 meters effort. Nigeria's Ikeki Daniel and Odo Melvin secured silver and bronze respectively. The 5-day championship, which features athletes from 43 African nations, runs to July, from July 16th to July 20. And former Bayana of South Africa captain Simfiwe Lulu has played down the Super Falcons' chances of winning the title at the 2024 Africa Cup of Nations ongoing there in Morocco. The Super Falcons are the most successful side in the history of the competition with 9 titles, and indeed they are gunning for their 10th title, which they have aptly described as Mission X. Just to Marugu's side, alongside holders South Africa, Zambia, Ghana, have been tipped as favorites for a title at the WAFCON 2024 finals. Lulu, however, believed the Super Falcons are not good enough to lift the trophy. I look at them and I think the rest of Africa has caught up, because if you remember, Nigeria used to be the only team that exported a lot of quality players outside of Nigeria and outside of Africa, which means they played in big leagues and they competed long before everyone could think that women could make it overseas. Gludlu said. And let's look at transfers in Nigeria to inform you that 8-time Nigeria League champions Rangers International have bolstered their squad ahead of the 2025-2026 football season, securing the signature of highly rated teenage winger Eni Egon Daniel from Abakaliki FC. Rangers officials believe that the move is a significant step in strengthening the team under the guidance of Coach Fidelis Ilechukwu. The contract signing ceremony held over the weekend at the club's corporate office in Enugu saw a visibly thrilled Daniel expressing excitement. Daniel from Cross River State described joining the Flying Antelopes as a dream come true. Known for his versatility and effectiveness on both wings, the teenage player had a standout performance in Abakaliki FC's impressive run in the 2025 President Federation Cup. Speaking after putting pen to paper, he said, Rangers is a very big club and the dream of every footballer is to get the opportunity to defend the badge of this great club. I hope to make my positive contribution towards helping the team achieve its set targets this season. The fast-paced winger is expected to be officially unveiled alongside other new signings for the Enugu side at an elaborate media session in the coming days. The acquisition signals Rangers' clear intent to mount a strong challenge in the upcoming season. And also Nigeria Premier League football champions Kano Pillars made its own quiet statement unveiling new players in iconic cultural settings of an ancient textile market and a 15th century former royal residence. Pillars Media Director Ismail Abba Tangalashi took to social media pages to announce the unveiling of a number of players in unusual locations with no links with football. We unveiled our new central defender, Mukhtar Mohammed from El Kaneme Warriors at the historic Gidan Makama, a 15th century royal residence turned museum that stands as a proud symbol of Kano's rich cultural heritage. Tangalashi said. On the heels of Mukhtar's unveiling, the club also posted the arrival of Rangers forward Chiedozie Jude Okorie. His move from a legacy club from the geopolitical region to another legacy club in a far region easily caught the eyes. It's always been my dream to play for one of the biggest clubs in Nigeria, and it's an honor for me to join such a historic club, was a quick response from Okorie to the Kano Pillars team, referring to Pillars' once dreaded stranglehold on the MPFL title for years. Okorie is not just any player. He understands the art of making impact within the context of his profession and who also associate with. While Rangers rank among the best clubs with pedigree, Okorie is also interested in big-name players. I want to help bring back the glory of the club. I believe that playing alongside big names like Ahmed Musa, Rabiu Aliu, and Sheikh Abdullahi will definitely help me achieve my dream of lifting the league title with this great club. He submitted as the added motivation for making the long haul to Kano from Enugu. In yet another significant intent to promote the cultural heritage of the ancient Kano city through football, Tangalashi had also announced, watch as we unveil our new center forward, Chiedozie Jude Okorie, who signed from Rangers. And before we go, let's tell you, there is death yet again in Nigerian football, and the Nigeria Football Federation has commiserated with the family and friends as well as its proteges and the Nigeria football fraternity in general over the death of a former Nigeria international player and one-time coach of the Super Eagles, Monday Sinclair, widely known as Professor for his in-depth knowledge and understanding of the beautiful game. Sinclair played for the senior national team of Nigeria a few years after independence and several years later became an oak in the teaching of the game at the grassroots level. We mourn deeply with the immediate family, friends and relatives of Professor Monday Sinclair over his demise. It is yet another sad day in Nigeria football. Our prayer is that God will stop the tap of grief and sorrow in our football and in the larger society. We pray the Almighty will grant the late Sinclair eternal rest and also grant those loved ones he has left behind, including the coaching fraternity, the fortitude to bear the big loss, NFF General Secretary Dr. Mohamed Sanusi said. And with that, we come to the end of Sports Roundup. For Channel Africa Sports, Tony Ubane reporting.
16:12 for Central African Time. That was Tony Tonero Ubane bringing us up to speed with regards to the latest in Nigerian sport. We will be talking to him to find out more about the rest of what is happening in Nigeria, especially with the Confederation of African Athletics Under-18, Under-20 Championship currently underway, an event that kicked off on the 16th and will conclude on the 20th of July. We will touch base with Tony Tonero Ubane after this short break.
Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
The situation in northern Mozambique's Cabo Delgado province continues to deteriorate, with fresh reports revealing a sharp rise in child abductions and mass displacements. What needs to be done to address the root causes of the conflict in your view? And especially just considering that resources are at the center of all of this.
This has now been going on since the end of 2017 in terms of the armed conflict, but the underlying factors have been in play really for generations now in the Mozambican setting, and the socio-economic drivers which have provided space for exploitation by external forces and by radicalized internal elements are really keeping a pilot light under this conflict. And the Mozambican government has struggled both in terms of its hard security response, but also in terms of its soft security and its development response to address the key drivers in play. And so we are likely to see a continuation of this kind of conflict.
Pierce Piju.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time. Ahoy, matey!
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram or on X at Channel Africa One. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa One. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Your weekend sports fix. Across the continent, it's Africa at Play with Neto Chemane, bringing African sports to life.
16:16 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a warm welcome to Africa at Play. We are live on DSTV Audio Bouquet Channel 802 or OpenView 628 if you are in South Africa. Alternatively, you can reach us from anywhere in the world on channelafrica.co.za, also available on SABC+. Do get in touch with us on our different social media platforms. On Instagram and X is at Channel Africa 1, and on Facebook, the name of our station, Channel Africa. Also visit our Channel Africa website, click on programs and search for Africa at Play. If you have missed out on any of our conversations, if you click on more, you will be able to listen to those conversations when you have time to do so. We now welcome to Africa at Play Tony Tonero Ubane. So Ubane, good afternoon and welcome to Africa at Play.
Hey, good afternoon, Velvet Voice.
Thank you so much for joining us, Sir Ubane. Let's kick off with the world of athletics. The Confederation of African Athletics Under-18, Under-20 Championship currently underway at the capital of Ogun State in Abeokuta, an event that kicked off earlier this week on the 16th and will be concluding tomorrow on the 20th of July. What's the latest?
Yeah, I must tell you that it's really been a very, very fine show that is happening at Ogun State. If you remember the Ogun State MKO Abiola Stadium, that's where Nigeria just finished hosting the National Sports Festival. So it's a very busy place, and of course, it's a beauty to behold I remember that the CA president himself was equally thrilled, by seeing that venue. And honestly, the whole thing is really been panning out, both in terms of results and everything. But I must say something happened, NATO, something that Nigeria, perhaps out of excitement, did, by the National Sports Commission that announced cash rewards ranging from 1 million naira for each gold medal and 750,000 naira for silver and 500,000 naira for bronze medals won by Team Nigeria athletes at ongoing CA Africa under 18 under 20 athletics championships. The announcement came during the championship where the National Sports Commission chairman, Malam Shehu Diko, and Director General Honorable Bukolo Dakwade watch actions from the stands. They were so impressed that the two administrators, visibly elated by the stellar performances of the Nigerian contingent, wasted no time in unveiling financial incentives to further boost morale. NSC Chairman Shehu Diko applauded the athletes' dedication and emphasized the importance of immediate motivation. Look at the way athletes have been performing in this championship. You will see that commitment and dedication in their faces, and we will not stop at giving our athletes every reason, to always want to compete for our great country. There and then, they doled out the sums that I mentioned earlier, 1,750,000 and 500,000 naira for gold, silver, and bronze, respectively. But then, Neto, beyond this cash, this thing, so many people are frowning at it because globally, junior athletes are not giving cash rewards for winning medals. So Nigeria is beginning something that it might not, continue with. That's why it's a junior event. Junior event, there are other events, there are other venues of showing appreciation for what they have done, but definitely not cash. I don't know where this idea came from, where the National Sports Commission has started, doling out, large amounts of money, very big sum amount of money to junior athletes. And I think it's something that even the CA officials themselves will be so appalled with. And indeed, that's exactly why, here on Channel Africa, we are pointing out because it has never happened anywhere before where junior athletes are being rewarded in cash. Neto.
You've rightfully put it, Tony Robani, and talking about junior athletes, this cash could go a long way in helping them to be able to afford other international trips. But like you've rightfully put it, it has to be channeled in a manner that speaks to them being junior athletes, because then you are opening a can of worms if you make the junior athletes get used to cash at that tender age. But I do agree that the financial muscle is needed in that bracket of junior athletes for them to be able to access other international events as well. Let's move on. It is a good week for Nigeria. Talking about the Confederation of African Athletics Under 18, Under 20 Championship, we seeing great performances, but it doesn't only end there. It also goes to the football field, where we've seen the Super Falcons giving the Copper Queens a good 5-0 thrashing last night, and this makes the Mission X a very alive initiative for the Super Falcons.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I must say that before that game, there was this fear of Zambia, that encapsulated everywhere in Nigeria. Almost everybody, they were just talking about Zambia. And indeed, the fear of Zambia then, somehow became the fear of almost everybody in the Nigerian football circle. But honestly, I must tell you that it's nobody that expected that Nigeria, will put up the type of performance they did, because at the group stages, people were worried because the Nigerian girls were not scoring goals. And more so to the fact, it's the fact that the two ladies in the Zambian squad, talk about Barbara Banda and indeed, her counterpart, Rachel Kundadaji, the type of performances we saw, the two of them accounting for 6 goals at the preliminary stages. And indeed, that sent fears, to the spines of almost every Nigerian fan. And indeed, out of 3 Nigerians that you asked, 2 will tell you that Zambia will carry the day. But I think kudos should go to the coach of the Super Falcons, Justin Madugu, because throughout the time, he had always been very calm and, of course, say that he would produce results that will indeed, storm Nigerians. And exactly that he did. And, of course, we saw the type of changes that he made, almost bringing about 5 changes, bringing 5 changes in that game. And that's exactly what we mean, when you bring in a coach that understands, a coach that follows, a coach that reads games. And, of course, remember that Justin Madugu was also in the team. He was the one that assisted American Randy Waldron. And also, Randy Waldron didn't have very pleasant words for his assistant, when he was asked about Nigeria's chances at the WAFCON. And the American said, that Nigeria have the team, but that they do not have the coach, except if there is anything, any magic they do, and perhaps then bring him back, so that he can also bring about changes that will make Nigeria win. I think that has been rubbish, and indeed that victory, Neto, I must say, belongs to indigenous coaches. That also shows that Nigerian coaches, can also do wonderfully well, if they are given the chances. I remember Rashida Tajibade also said something, that the Zambians were so boastful, and even in their camp, that it got to them. Star striker, reigning Women's African Player of the Year, Banda, also boasted that Zambia were not scared of the Falcons. And couldn't have said that we are not scared. They would have said them because we know the game is 90 minutes plus. So we are going to switch on the pitch. We want to hunt them. That was the word that Banda used. That hunting perhaps turned around, and the hunter now became the hunted. And the Zambian coach, Nora Hokla, stated that the team would hunt down Justin Madugu equally. But then respectfully, she acclaimed, that the Super Falcons were better. In the aspect of the game. I think it all points to the same fact that the African game, the women team, it's fast growing. I saw to see the type of matches that are being played by all the countries that are there. I don't think there are minnows again, but then I think that the Super Falcons have raised their game, and perhaps that has also touch on so many people and send fears into some other countries that are remaining. Perhaps the Mission X looks so impossible now, NATO.
Who would you like the Super Falcons to meet in the semi-finals between South Africa's Banyana Banyana and the Teranga Lionesses of Senegal?
Yeah, it's going to talk out here in Nigeria. Immediately after that, people are just talking, between Nigeria and South Africa. I think going by the opinions of people will prefer to meet Senegal. That means if Senegal will do anything possible today to beat, Banyana Banyana, because I think we have seen the South African girls, they are the defending champion. That alone, gives them a lot of confidence. And indeed, we have seen their game too, the way they have them playing. I think there's so much understanding between the players, and that's exactly one of the things that also inspire a team to do well, when you know exactly where your players are, and of course, string passes together. That's it. I think they'll be grateful if they can have Senegal, because they will have Senegal for dinner. If they do, I think if the South Africans conquer Senegal, that means, there will also be another, tussle between Nigeria and South Africa, NATO.
Tony Tonero Bani, our correspondent based in West Africa, in Lagos, Nigeria. So, thank you so much for your contribution to Africa at Play. Have a good day further. 16:27 Central African Time. That's how we wrap up our conversation with Tony Tonero Bani, our correspondent based in West Africa, in Lagos, Nigeria. Diamond Platinums featuring Omarion saying African Beauty. This is Africa at Play. Enjoy every moment.
News. 180 minutes on the world of sports and music. That's Africa at Play with Neto, Neto Chemane on Channel Africa from an African perspective. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa.
It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising.
Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9.
Peter and Asanda, as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis,
and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning,
we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people,
and the things that make Africa smile.
12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories,
and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else.
The Upside, 1 till 4,
live and real, with Tebogo Lepoleni and Mateko Musito. Tamengubene talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m.
5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color.
Vue d'Afrique, with Joël Muteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif.
Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m.
Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9.
We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia.
9 till 10. We take a look in Africa
and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla.
And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines
with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa.
Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa.
Right, coming up after the news at 9 o'clock, we have On the Move with Palisa and Benjamin. Good morning, Palisa.
Morning, Peter. How are you?
Always fabulous. Thank you very much indeed.
Doing good. Well, let me tell you a story, Peter. If you look, in fact, just outside this window, right, you can see the street right next to us. There's a street like coming through, a residential street coming this way. Back in varsity, I went to the University of Johannesburg, the Bunting Road campus on our right, and there's the Kingsway campus on our left. A friend of mine and I went to the library. We couldn't find the book we wanted, so we walked to the Kingsway campus, to that library. Got there, found what we needed, and then walked down through this residential area. And as we were about to reach like a few meters just before the SABC here where we are, we got mugged by two guys. And we got mugged in front of a group of men doing construction in one of those residential houses. They just watched it happen and everything happened. The guys took our phones and they ran off, got in a car, shoot. We're obviously devastated. They went on to do the work that they wanted to do. So we're speaking about, I'm telling you the story because in the first hour of the show, we're speaking about community involvement in addressing personal crises. And we're finding out the question, have you ever witnessed someone in distress and said nothing? Or you were too scared or nonchalant to intervene? So that's the conversation we're having in the first hour of today's show.
Wow. I mean, it's an interesting one. And sadly, especially gender-based violence.
Yeah.
Everybody sees it, everybody hears it, and for some reason, it's a difficult thing for people to intervene. I'm fascinated to hear about that conversation.
Africa is a story, a living, breathing, ever-evolving masterpiece. And for over 5 decades now, one voice has told it like no other. Channel Africa. More than just a broadcaster, Channel Africa is the pulse of the continent, African-led, African-run, and deeply rooted in its heritage. It's the only international station that speaks to Africa in its own voices: English, Kiswahili, Chinyanja, French, and Portuguese. The languages that unite 1 billion people. We have been there through every shift, every milestone, and every triumph. Not just reporting history, but shaping the conversations that define Africa's future. For brands, media planning, and advertisers, Channel Africa is more than just a platform. It's an opportunity. With 25 compelling shows covering current affairs, sports, business, music, and lifestyle, we deliver an engaging Pan-African audience ready to connect, invest, and act. Multi-award winning, internationally recognized, digitally accessible across the globe. When Africa speaks, the world listens, and Channel Africa makes sure of it. For business, for culture, for Africa. Partner with Channel Africa because Africa's voice is the future. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tepuho Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique, with Joel Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochi Tika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones. On air, online. This is Channel Africa.
Hey guys, so it's about 30 minutes before we have to go onto the show and go live, and we're just having our own little briefing session with the team. We've got our producer in the background, Unsako. We've got my amazing co-host, Mateko Mosito.
Also, I'm not amazing.
It was a song by Severo Mami Panza featuring Salesio Gugu from Mozambique. This is Africa at Play as Delelisia Shaya. We've got some voice notes on our topic of the day. Pre-season gives managers an opportunity to instill the tactical blueprint they want their team to use during the forthcoming season. Few clubs in Africa go on pre-season preparation, while a huge number of clubs fail to do so. What are the advantages or disadvantages of failing to engage in pre-season games? Let's find out from Bongani Chuma.
Good afternoon, Neto and the listeners. This is Bongani Chuma from Lenazia. Neto, pre-season preparation is one of the most important part of planning for a season. You can't go into a war without having a proper plan. Planning in terms of the tactics, planning in terms of the physical conditioning, planning in terms of blending your new players and see if they fit into your system, because you need to establish if you are ready for the season, for that matter. So the teams that are not planning, that are not having preseason camps and all that, I think we all know if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. There's no other way, Neto. Thank you.
Those are the thoughts of Bongani Chuma, a football commentator. We've got another voice note from Apiwa Ngwenya.
Hi, Africa Play. This is Apiwa Ngwenya. I think pre-season training really gives managers the time to try new combinations that they wouldn't want to try out during critical parts of the season. It's a time where new players who are bought during this season are able to also gel into the team, find out what works and what doesn't work. Also, new players that come up the ranks, come up from junior teams and making their space in the senior teams, see how they also work well with their new teammates. So it actually is a critical season, and I think big clubs, small clubs, should all be doing this. It's actually a good time because if they fail to do so during preseason and they try out all these new tactical ideas during the season, by the time they actually click as a team and it's actually already too late, it's already towards the end of the season and they've wasted an entire season. So I think preseason is very critical and I find all advantages for a great preseason in ironing out all the niggles that you might have so that by the time the season starts, you're all set to go.
That's Apiwe Ngwenya sharing her thoughts on our topic of the day. Let's also take one more voice note from Eric Lechweleng.
Good afternoon, Africa at Play. This is Eric Lechweleng from Midrand. Advantages of failing to engage in the preseason games. Reduced risk of injuries. That's point number 2. Number 2, cost savings. Remember, preseason games can be costly as they require travel, accommodation, and other expenses. So by not engaging in preseason games, teams may save on this cost. Number 3, more time for technical preparation. Without the pressure of preseason games, teams may have more time to focus on the technical preparations and training. So disadvantages of failing to engage in preseasons, it's a lack of match fitness. Preseason games help players to build match fitness, which is essential for performing well during the season. Without preseason games, teams may struggle to achieve the required level of fitness. Technical blueprint not tested. So it means preseason games provide an opportunity for teams to test their technical blueprint and make necessary adjustments. Without preseason games, teams may not be able to refine their tactics. Poor performance. Disadvantage against teams that have prepared. Teams that have engaged in preseason games may have an advantage over teams that have not, as they will be better prepared and more match fitness. So in conclusion, while there may be some advantages to failing to engage in the preseason games, the disadvantages are likely to outweigh them. Preseason games are an essential part of teams' preparation for the forthcoming season, and failing to engage in them may put a team at a disadvantage. Ke a leboga Raitso. Re lebogela thulaganyo e monate le kamoso.
Speaking in Setswana, saying thank you for a good show. Thulaganyo e monate. That's Eric Lechweleng sharing his thoughts on our topic of the day, where we were talking about the importance of preseason and what the teams on the African continent are doing out there, the advantages and disadvantages of engaging in preseason tournament. We've got the thoughts of Yamkela Sifingo, a sports journalist, after the short break.
The Midnight Snack, 12 to 3 a.m.
Young couples or young people that are getting married, we often hear of divorces, that they're getting divorced, and it's quite worrying because when we attend these weddings, we want to see these people flourish and celebrate 30-year anniversaries. What do you think is the main challenge that is facing newlyweds?
We say that tell me how you were raised and I'll tell you how you're loved. So when we see people getting married, that's not where the relationship actually starts. The relationship starts with how you were raised, what you were familiar with, because we are attracted to what we are familiar with. If you don't have a background where love was prominent, where love was authentic, it's going to be very difficult for you to manufacture that in later life. So our upbringing has something to do with it.
The Midnight Snack, every Monday, 12 to 3 a.m. with Chanduko Ligege. Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
A good afternoon to you, Neto, and a good afternoon to the listeners of Africa at Play. This is Yamkela Sifingo. Well, I think correctly as you put it, Neto, in the main, the advantage of having to play a preseason is being able to instill the tactical blueprint in which you want your players to use in preparation for the next season. But also it helps some of the new players that have recently joined your side to be able to acclimatize themselves with the squad. It helps them to settle in, but also it helps them in the process of adjusting, because remember, as a player maybe that was signed playing in a totally different league. You have to unlearn all the tactical approaches that you were using in the recent season. You have to unlearn all the instructions that you were getting from the coaches, and you also have to act, behave, and look at the new side that you are joining in a way such that it's as if you've never played football, because now you start to learn a new culture, you start to learn a new style of play, even the personalities that you get to play with. You have to know them in order to know exactly how to be able to play with them, you know. So there is a lot of things that you need to understand. So having a preseason also helps the player in terms of that, but it also works for the management, because when you buy a player and they were performing well in their previous club, it's not a guarantee of a cut and paste that will just automatically fit in and be effective in your squad, because you might be playing slightly different. So it helps the management to assess as to confirm whether what they bought is actually what they got, you know, and also try and adjust here and there so that that player would suit a certain culture and a brand identity of football that you want to create for your own side. So it also helps in terms of that. And it also helps you in terms of preparing for the next season, because in the previous season, in as much as you were playing, but when you reflect at the end of the season, you have to learn from your mistakes, you have to work on your weaknesses, and you have to maintain some of the good boxes that you've already ticked in terms of strength. And you also have to plan moving forward, you know. So when you go for a preseason, it helps you to balance and check, you
16:45 Central African Time. That was Yamkela Sefingo, a sports journalist based in South Africa, sharing his thoughts on our topic of the day, where we were talking about the importance of preseason, the advantages and disadvantages of clubs engaging in preseason games on the African continent. If you are a rugby fan, you will be excited to find out that South Africa, that is the Springboks, will take on Georgia today at 17:10 Central African Time in Mpumalanga at the Mbombela Stadium, South Africa's Mpumalanga province. Argentina will take on Uruguay at 21:40, while the United States of America have a date with England at 23:05 Central African Time. Let's now welcome to Africa at Play our correspondent based in Lusaka, Zambia, Namuchana. So Namuchana, good afternoon and welcome to Africa at Play.
Yeah, good afternoon, and good afternoon to our listeners, and what a joy to listen to our listeners and giving us a nice feedback there on the topic of the day. Very interesting thoughts are actually coming from the likes of Apiwengwenya.
Indeed. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get on to it. The Zambians must be very disappointed with last night's outcome between the Super Falcons and the Copper Queens of Zambia. 5-0 thrashing. It is disappointing indeed. One-way traffic.
Extremely disappointing, Neto, I can tell you, and no Zambian expected this, because I can tell you the feeling around Lusaka, the feeling around the country was that Zambia was going to run riot and just crush the Super Falcons of Nigeria, but the opposite happened last night. The Copper Queens totally collapsed the entire 90 minutes. They couldn't even register a shot at goal. Very, very disappointing performance coming from the Copper Queens. And this is the first time in a very long time that we have witnessed the Copper Queens playing such a disjointed football. The performance was poor. All the departments were not coordinating. There was no coordination whatsoever. You couldn't even tell, Neto, what kind of system they were playing yesterday. It is so disappointing. Even the goals that they conceded, surely, even the under 12 or under 15, they cannot concede such goals, and it is mind-boggling, really. Even up now, a lot of Zambians are failing to understand what could have gone wrong in Casablanca yesterday. Others are now speculating that to say maybe the team was overconfident, they underrated the Super Falcons, because the narrative was that Zambia going into that match, they were the favorites, and everybody expected them to brush Nigeria aside. But Nigeria, they had their own plans. They prepared for the Copper Queens, and the Copper Queens received a 5-0 bashing. And this is the first time in a very long time, like I've put it, for the Copper Queens to lose like that, or for them to fail to score, even to shoot at goal throughout 90 minutes. It is extremely disappointing. A lot of Zambians, they thronged a psalm. I took time, I can tell you, I was moving around trying to see where people were watching this game. A lot of Zambians were watching this game in their homes. Others were watching this important game in bars. Others were in lodges. Others were watching it from nightclubs. And almost all Zambians got glued to television, only to be disappointed by that result. But the coach herself, this is Nora Hope too, she came out defiant. She said they are going to regroup and make sure that the Copper Queens, they will go and perform better at the next WAFCON. So we just wait to see what will happen next. And already I can tell you here, Neto, that a lot of Zambians already they are calling for a dismissal. A lot of them they have called on the Football Association of Zambia to bring back Bruce Mape, the man who just single-handedly built this team.
16:50 Central African Time. We are talking to Namachana, our correspondent based in Lusaka, Zambia. We take a short break. When we come back, we'll wrap up our conversation with Namachana.
The Upside, your afternoons just got even better.
Bantu Biko Street by Simpiwe Dana. Ndi ready. Simpiwe, 20 years in song. So what emotions come up when you hear that, hey, you've been doing this for 20 years now?
It almost feels like no time has passed, eh? I just, I know obviously time has passed, but I don't feel it. Even about my age, I'm 45. I always get shocked when I think, oh my God, in 5 years' time, I'll be 50. Because for me as an artist, it's almost like when it comes to certain things, time stands still. And as a result, you find that a lot of artists are very childlike, which, it helps them to always have a fresh approach to issues.
I tell you what, I'm feeling healed just by that.
We take no sides, none whatsoever. We are the Upside. 180 minutes on the world of sports and music. That's Africa at Play with Neto Chemane on Channel Africa from an African perspective.
16:52 Central African Time. You are still tuned in to Africa at Play. We've got Namachana, our correspondent based in Lusaka, Zambia, on the line. We will be wrapping up that conversation in a moment. But before we do so, something is coming up your way. As soon as Africa's Velvet Voice says goodbye, there's a smooth voice coming your way. Anika Launch with Mix Vibration. Bonjour.
Bonjour Neto, bonjour à tous les auditeurs de Channel Africa. On se retrouve aujourd'hui sur Mix Vibration de samedi. Nous allons le faire comme nous le faisons tous les week-ends. Nous allons danser, nous allons bouger. Aujourd'hui, nous allons écouter de la musique de la RDC, n'est-ce pas, de la rumba. Tous ceux qui aiment la rumba, en tout cas, je vous invite à vous connecter sur Channel Africa pour danser avec nous. Nous serons également en Ouganda pour écouter de la belle musique ougandaise et nous allons également écouter de la musique de la Guinée. Nous serons un peu partout en Afrique pour savourer vraiment les talents des Africains, des musiciens africains. Et aujourd'hui, nous continuons avec la célébration Mandela Day qui a commencé hier. Alors, chers auditeurs, connectez-vous nombreux et dites-nous ce que vous avez eu à faire à l'occasion de cette journée. Et dans notre segment dédié aux héros communautaires, nous recevons aujourd'hui Madame Jocelyne Mobinzo qui a aussi organisé un événement hier à l'occasion de cette journée internationale de Mandela. Alors, je vous invite à vous connecter nombreux afin de ne rien manquer de cette émission spéciale. Merci beaucoup, Neto.
Merci beaucoup. That's Annika Lunch coming your way just after Africa at Play with the Mix Vibration. Do stay tuned to Channel Africa, the only station I know of that broadcasts to the world in 5 languages: English, Chinyanja, Kiswahili, Portuguese, and French. Football fans, Algeria will be taking on Ghana at 1800 Central African Time in the ongoing Women's Africa Cup of Nations, while South Africa, the reigning champions, will line up against the Teranga Lionesses at 2100 Central African Time to join the Atlas Lionesses, Morocco, and the Super Falcons, who have already booked their spots in the semi-finals. So, Namuchana, let's talk a little bit about Bruce Mape as we wrap up this conversation. Why do you fix it when it's not broken? The man was doing well, back-to-back Olympic qualifications, WAFCON qualifications, and when it matters most, you show him the exit door, only to be given 5 by the Super Falcons on a later stage because the coach is still trying to get used to the system of the Copper Queens, but time waits for no one.
Unfortunately, Neto, the Football Association of Zambia, who employed the Bruce Mape, they haven't told why Bruce Mape was relieved of his duties. And even up to now, Zambians are just speculating. Is it the issue that we had or the issue that was hanging around Bruce Mape's head that they were, every time Zambia was going to participate at any international tournament, the Western media will write negative things about Bruce Mape, that he was abusing these girls. But you are aware, Neto, that the Football Association of Zambia and the Zambian government, they constituted an investigation, and that investigation cleared Bruce Mape of any wrongdoing. So I don't know whether it is from that angle that the Football Association of Zambia saw it fit to fire him and bring in a woman coach. I don't know. But even up to now, they haven't told us as to why the man who has built this team, like you rightly put it there, this is the man, Neto, who qualified the Copper Queens to the World Cup for the very first time. This is the man who qualified Zambia to the Olympics back-to-back. And this is the man who even qualified this team to the ongoing WAFCON in Morocco. So we have thought to understand why he was treated like that. And the only thing that we saw after they fired him was to take Bruce Mape to Morocco to go and do some CAF coaching courses there. And they said they are going to find something for him. It's either they are going to attach him to the Zambia national soccer team or the under-20. So even as we're in the dark, we don't really know what happened between Bruce Mape and the Football Association of Zambia. But I think somehow the country is paying a high price for deciding wrongly. In my own personal view, there was absolutely no need to have gotten rid of Bruce Mape. But we cannot cry over spilled milk. The only thing now, it is to come back and go back to the drawing board to see what we do next as a country, because what has been done, we cannot go back to it. So we still have got other qualifiers that are coming. We've got World Cup qualifiers and WAFCON qualifiers. So we don't know what the Football Association of Zambia really will do, whether they are going to succumb to what the soccer fans are calling for right now, because the soccer fans are furious. They are, just from yesterday up to now, they are urging the Football Association of Zambia just to get rid of Nora Hope, because they are saying, look, from the time that she came, we haven't witnessed the Copper Queens playing good football. Actually, their football is going down. She's slowly but surely dismantling the team.
Namachana, our correspondent based in Lusaka, Zambia. Thank you so much for filling us up with the latest in Zambian sport. All the best moving forward.
Neto, thank you so much for having me. Merci beaucoup. Asante sana. Like they say in East Africa, I can tell you, I've been approached by a lot of people here in Osaka who listen to our show. They are so much in love with you. They say this is a great show. They just like it the way you do it. And some of them even have gone to an extent of asking me to tell you that they would love to see you on one-on-one, and so they are calling for you to fly to Osaka so that they can come and see this great presenter that they normally just hear on radio. So that is how the Zambian sports fans are excited about the show. They love Africa to play, and they love the way you present the show.
Thank you so much, Sir Namachana, and thank you for the listeners in Zambia for showing that confidence. I'm certain one day I will be on that flight to Lusaka to meet them in person. It is that time of the afternoon where we've got to say our goodbye. We will be back tomorrow, same place, same time, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central African time. Thank you to PK, our audiovisuals streaming member, as well as to Mr. Lema, our social media guru, and Siwe Fagimalu Zobana Mali, my producer, and Tito Fabulous Makau, our technical operator. My name is Neto and Neto Chemane. Let's do it again tomorrow. Cheers.
Mix Vibration, tous les samedis, de 15h à 16h, temps universel, avec Julie Motsungu, la voix d'or et forte de Channel Africa.
Hey guys, so it's about 30 minutes before we have to go onto the show and go live, and we're just having our own little briefing session with the team. We've got our producer in the background, Unsako. We've got my amazing co-host, Mateko Mosito.
Also, I'm not amazing.
We've got Unsako that side. And we just, just getting our ducks in a row for the show. Once we go live, there's no turning back. You make mistakes, we make them on air, but we try our best to prepare and ensure that we don't do that when we go on. And when we do, and we laugh about it, guys, we're only human. But this is how it looks like when we're just getting ready for the show. Enjoy. Here we go. Mix. Let's go. Come on. Let the creative juices flow.
The tree, what's at the bottom of it?
The root.
Thank you. If I'm not excited, like I'm just sitting around, I have nothing to do.
Bored.
Thank you. If it's not mist, it's
mist.
Mist. If it's not mist in the morning, you can't see the road. It's like a cloud.
Bright and early in the morning.
Like
sometimes your brain experiences.
It rhymes with dog. Fog. Thank you. I don't know this one.
This one, guys. Hi, guys. Come on.
What is this? When I'm doing this, thank you. Yeah, no, yeah. You're so
funny.
Thank you.
Alright.
Nice and easy, clean. Don't forget what caught your eye at 22.
Yes.
And then, we're good.
Fantastic.
23, madam. Oh, okay.
Re kene ka intro ele. Yeah.